Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So sorry for the delay. This is our second start. I'm having a little internet connection going on here. It's a bad storm about to roll through, so please bear with me. If I go out, please, Tyrone, take the stage. I would so greatly appreciate it, my co-host. All right, guys. So you know what we're here for. We are here for Ready to Love, the panel review. This is episode number 6. Uh, you know, we're just go. Let's go around the room and let's go ahead and introduce yourselves. Let them know where they can find you on socials, and if you're working on any projects you would like to share.
What's up, everybody? Tyrone E. Wilson from Ready to Love DC. As you know, I started doing a lot more panels on the mental health side. We have another one tomorrow night for Wellness Wednesdays at 7 p.m. on my channel. Other than that, you can catch me creating reels and creating videos about my life's adventures. So, as always, happy to be here. Happy to get it started on the panel with my esteemed guests. I can't wait. So, let's go.
J-Dub.
What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy J-Dub, the #1 commenter. And I'm still doing my reviews. I have taken a little hiatus, for all my people out there. They know J-Dub is transitioning and flying high. So, we're trying to get it together, and I appreciate everybody's patience. Stacey B face killing me, transitioning.
I was like, oh, Lord.
Yeah, I got a big announcement. No, I still do reviews. I haven't done one in a while. I'm normally try to make the panels, whether it's Sabrina panel or Ty's panel. And I'm just trying to keep my name and face out there. Y'all know where y'all can find me. Just like I said, just check me out, and I'll try to keep that consistency going. It's on you, Sabrina.
Stacey B.
Hey, y'all, I'm Stacey B. And y'all know I got y'all a gift because I'm the ringleader of the chocolate delegation. I had to consult all my ancestors and my Black kids and my Black mama and my Black daddy so that I can be here for y'all today. And guess what? Ooh, that chocolate tastes good, baby. I'm ready.
Oh my gosh. We're only 3 minutes in. What's going on, guys? You know who I am. I am Sabrina Soul. As a matter of fact, I don't think I ever really talk about myself, but you can find me on all socials at Miss Sabrina Soul. I'm on Thread, Instagram, Facebook, here on YouTube, Twitter. Everything is at Miss Sabrina Soul. All right, guys. Before we get started, did you have any comments about this episode, just about the show in general, just to kind of start it off and kick it off? Like, what are some of your thoughts so far? Because we are on episode 6, so we're like halfway through now at this point.
It's just that it's a little bit confusing. People that I thought had connections ain't even got each other's numbers. So she is a little bit weird.
Well, it looked
like
a little
bit weird to me.
They just not really calling.
I mean, but if you should I wait till we get to that point first?
I mean, you know what? I like how we freestyle sometimes,
Right, like to be, she was kind of like parading him around, making sure everyone knew who he was, and he said hello to everyone before his work event, and they weren't really talking to each other. And then I caught her with another comment. I caught her with another comment. What I'll just say for the crowd right now, just let me know if you caught it. But in one breath,
her?
I'm talking about Jessica right now.
In
a date, she said people make time for what they want. But then, she tried to put that back on Kira in the ladies' lounge. And I just thought that was kind of funny. But we'll get to it, Just my initial thoughts right there.
Yes, we will. J-Dub, you got anything on it?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say that. A lot of times I'll be right. I know I have the unpopular opinion out here, but I said from the beginning, in this season, be careful what you ask for. You just might get it. And from what I hear in these YouTube streets on the panels and everything, people are not highly impressed with this season. And at this point, they're almost naming it the worst season ever in Ready to Love history. However, that was last season, in my opinion. But, you know, of course, it has some bright spots, but I just called it from the beginning. Like I said, we're missing a whole lot, and we got so many distractions going on that have nothing to do with love. I'm actually starting to believe again that this show has nothing to do with love, even though we're supposed to be ready for love. So that's it for me.
Stacey B, what you got?
You know, I'm just ready to dig in. Lego.
Let's go. Somebody needs a treat.
Someone
I know.
called.
Can you do it real quick?
Somebody needs a treat. All right, guys, shout out to you guys that are watching. It's 120, 130 of you in here right now. You guys know without y'all, there is no us. Shout out to you guys in the chat. Y'all keep the chat live always, every time. To my soulmates, shout out to you guys. Shout out to Another Round. She is one of the panelists. Says, "Oh my God, you got a new puppy." Oh
wow.
2 new puppies.
You
got babies. Okay, because I'm a dog mom. So what was I about to say? Oh yeah, so make sure you keep the chat live. You guys know that I put your comments on the screen. Sometimes we just discuss some of the comments that you do put up on the screen. Shout out to y'all. I love y'all so much. All the love. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm ready to talk about this episode because a lot happened in this episode. A lot of people have been talking about some of the things that have happened in this episode. So I'm ready to dive into it as well. So with that being said, how about we do this just because I said I was going to start doing this, and I'm going to do it because I like it when I do it like this, where I have it on the screen and we talk about it. All right, so the episode starts with the Ladies Lounge. This is Ready to Love episode, Ready to Love Dallas, season 8, episode number 6, Dates and Doubts. That is the name of this episode. And the episode starts with the Ladies Lounge, and pretty much Tommy lets the ladies know that the power is in their hands this week. Tommy wants them to go on dates and pretty much express their doubts. The very first date is with Aries and Philip. Aries speaks about her concerns with her doubts. She says that she has 2 divorces. She has 2 children, 2 boys, and she wants pretty much Philip's thoughts on this. She feels that Philip can be a leader and a great father to her kids. Philip feels good about this, and he feels that, you know, that this is a romantic scene from a movie on their date. They share a kiss, and then they pretty much say goodbye to each other and can't wait to see each other again.
Was I the only one surprised? Like, was this new to y'all that Aries was divorced twice? It don't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything to me because I'm riding for her, just like I said with Brandon. We went in on Brandon being divorced twice.
What happened?
So I'm just saying, love me some Aries, but I mean, where was that selective outrage then? Like, keep it consistent. Like, the ladies went in for no reason. And granted, I don't care that Aries has been divorced. I think it's beautiful. I think, you know, you have pros.
Yeah, it looks like we're just finding that out. But was it with the same person?
There's nothing to cancel.
Go away.
Oh, somebody's saying.
Oh, that was my Siri. I'm saying I can't hear y'all, and Siri has entered. My apologies.
I'm not sure.
I think it might be.
She want to be part of the panel.
Yeah, Siri, you can't be on the show. Cancel. Please.
Yeah, I think it's different if it's with, you know, I think in Brandon's situation is with the same person. So it might be a little different for her. And even the 2 divorces is not really a bad thing. Like we're grown. It happens.
Happens.
Mm-hmm. What I miss, Siri? Oh, don't say that.
How much of a red flag would 2 divorces be, J-Dub?
Oh, well,
hey,
you know,
Siri.
Don't say that. Stop saying. Don't say that, Stacey. Yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement. You know, it's life. Everybody has different situations and different circumstances. it happens. I don't look down on people who have multiple divorces, marriages. I would say they are they want to continue on. They don't want to stop. And I don't ever believe in, like, of course you have lessons in life. However, you shouldn't block things out. When I say block things out, things that you could be open to, because you never know. You say, I'll never get married again. I'll never do this. I'll never do that. You might miss something that you really need in your life. So yeah, I don't even see it as a red flag as well. And Aries is still a star.
Exactly. That part.
Yeah, I don't see nothing wrong with it. I mean,
he's the only one giving like authentic right now. Like when we're searching for hope in these episodes, and we're trying to find something real, you gotta pan over to Miss Aries, because she's seeming the most real out of everybody right now.
Yeah, it's like production is talking to us. So every time there's something a little bit trifling on the screen, they'll show Aries sipping on something.
Oh yeah,
bring us back
she
a little
showed
bit.
us like that.
Yeah,
with her face. Where is it? I got that picture too. Here we go.
Hey, can you come get them, please?
There you go.
And I wanted to speak on something in this scene, if I could. Let's be going. People never really bring up, I guess, the importance of, like, when people have like children from previous marriages or relationships, and they're looking for a significant other, how it would be almost impossible to ignore that. I guess your new mate would have to align with your situation. They can't be separate if you're going to be in a serious or committed relationship. And some people will say, well, no, I'm not looking for a father for my children. However, if you're planning to be in love, be married again, this person is going to be a significant part of your life as well. So it is important what type of influence or presence or environment that they bring around the children. It can't really be separated if it's something serious. So I wanted to bring that up.
Agreed. Yeah, I feel the same way, because I know when I date, like, the first thing I think is to myself is, I wonder, is she gonna like him? Or I wonder is, like, how she gonna feel about him? Like, and I look at his mannerisms as well, because I know my daughter. It's my daughter. You know what I mean? So just like, I'm sure y'all have kids. All of us have kids up here. And we know our kids, and we know, like, if we see somebody or we're hanging around someone and you're thinking like, I'm kind of feeling them, like Ty gonna be like, daddy, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, and it's like, I always keep that like in the back of my head. So for her to, say like, like, I feel like Philip can be a leader, and I think that he could be a good father to my boys. That's serious. And to even make that statement and that comment about him, I thought, like, spoke volumes. I was like, wow, like, she must really be feeling this guy. And the way that they embraced each other, like when they were getting ready to leave, it honestly just looked like they did not want to leave each other. So I thought it was very genuine. I thought that I enjoyed the connection. I enjoy watching it. I didn't see it coming, not that strong. But I'm here for it. I think he seems like he's a great guy. I think she has a beautiful spirit. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think they align well. Her doubts have been taken away from his responses. It seems like they're being true with the journey, because, they said it feels like a long distance relationship. So that means they ain't doing nothing, hanging out outside of the show, which is always, kind of helpful. And, they align the most out of everyone else on the show. So I'm really anxious to see, how it turns out. It looks like this is the strongest connection, that we've seen so far, with the one with the most potential so far.
Yeah. And did y'all peep those two kisses, like a kiss, then another kiss? I said, okay. And I loved Phil's response, because that's when we found out he had a daughter. And his response is like, I mean, I want a family, but your kids are my kids. So whatever happens. But I really enjoyed how natural, like, I mean, we want a little judge. You know, by this point, we're mid-season. We want a little judge. We want to see a nice little kiss. We don't want to see a kiss and then you get eliminated. We want to see you kiss twice.
Right.
Sabrina, I wanted to speak on another round's comment back when she said what she said, Phil gives good answers. I'm glad I don't have to be the bad guy in this, because I had to say that as well. Well, like I like the energy, I like the connection and all of that. However, I'm gonna say Aries kind of made a mistake, or not really make a mistake. People can kind of play off of your answers or what you, if when you're very direct, instead of letting somebody tell you what they're about. More so, like if you say, you know, I'm a very religious person, and then the person will say, "Oh, you are? Well, you know, I'm about to start a church." You know, they kind of almost playing to your answers. And in a sense, what another round said, I kind of picked up on that too. It's like Phil is just like, oh, it may seem like he may be matching answers. I'm not sure. I'm with another round. I am giving him the side eye, and only time will tell if he's authentic or genuine. Because you know, yeah, he might want to be a stepdaddy, you know, just to get the Aries. So I don't know. I'm feeling the same way with another round, for real.
So Miss Pretty Amazing has a question. She says, panel, which one is worse, a divorce, a divorce with two different people or the same person?
I say congratulations to whoever had the courage to like reclaim their time, because a divorce isn't like an easy decision to make, and it definitely ain't when you do it twice to the same person. But I just say congratulations. It's not good or bad for me.
Yeah, to me they're both the same. Like, you're willing to give it a shot twice. You know, I've never even really considered it, so I kind of envy people, you know, that consider it, you know. And if you're trying to make it work, you know, consistently, even if it's with two people or with the same person, then you know you got to applaud that.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Must be the storm or the weather outside. But this panel, we coming together is like we all feel the same way tonight. You know, normally we are conflicted. Absolutely. I can't say what is worse. All divorces are case by case, and is all by individuals. And I don't put a stigma on people who are divorced. You know, they have life experiences. And for me, I would prefer a person who's divorced, because they have certain life experiences and experience with marriage, even though each relationship is and marriage is different. I think they come with something a little extra than a person who has never been married before. So that's my
Mm-hmm. Well, y'all know I've always been Team Brandon. So from day one, I think I even made a post or a comment saying hashtag justice for Brandon. And
Give us a free.
Say it again, Stacey.
Give us a free. Give Brandon freedom.
Yeah, like, you know, and I just felt like it was just some guys that lasted to episode 6. I felt like he should have just been one of them. Not saying that he would have found someone, but just to like actually get to know him, you know what I mean, and find out more about him. Not just the fact that, oh, he got 4 kids, and if you watch his interview, he actually has 3 kids by his wife, and the other child was from before, you know, he met her. So, but he says that I have 4 kids, so he claims the other one as his own. And I thought that that was very admirable. And I just think that, you know, could have given him a chance, just at least get to know him a little bit more, not just to know like of him and then just kind of deny him, instead of really getting to know him and to not really give him like to accept him for that. So, you know,
Plus,
he might not be a cup of tea, but you know, go ahead.
Plus, superficially, his beard connects. It was filled all the way in. His teeth were straight. He didn't have excess white on his tongue. I mean, he looked like he smelled good, and he looked like he smelled all of about 6'4". What is the problem?
Well, I didn't know we were talking about Brand again. I thought we put him to rest, but since we're talking about him,
He will never be rested.
oh, he'll never be rested. Okay. Of course, I'm not a woman. I thought the issue would be like 4 kids. When I say 4 kids, that's going to require some attention, some resources, and all of that. I don't know what he does for a living, and I think that could be the problem because again, people don't have a lot of time, and if he's an involved father, 4 kids could be a lot. The divorce part, I wouldn't think about. But again, I'm not a woman. Stacey B, is that an issue? Does that come up? Does that
It's not an issue. He has a great job. He works for the train systems, something. I mean, well into a Texas 6 figures. So hey, and plus now that we know he has 3 biological kids, we know child support ain't coming off that 4th one. How people trying to make it, and y'all, I done told y'all, Texas is a man-friendly state, so his pockets ain't hurting.
He owns his own business too. I think it's a cleaning business.
Well, Sabrina, let me tell you something.
Tell me, girl.
Bro is tall enough to pick you up and keep your feet from hitting the ground, so we ain't mad at it.
Can't be mad at him. Yep, Taurus Life 16 said Brandon should have stayed and let Freaky Marvin go.
Baby, because who had a real connection with Marvin? Oh, Unique. My bad.
Yeah, if I was to guess.
Yeah. Brandon was upfront and honest about it. She hid it. She's a manipulator. She's kind of cold. I don't like her. Huh. What are you talking about, Aonod?
Who's cold?
I don't know. Brandon was upfront and honest about it. She hid it. Are y'all talking about Aries? I don't know.
Aries admitted to being open about Brandon. You can see a little bit of disappointment in her face when he got voted off, too.
Look, I want somebody with kids because guess what you ain't gonna ask to borrow? My uterus. You ain't gonna ask to be held up. You don't want, let me tell you, you might want to garden and you might want to plant some seeds, but I know my uterus will be free of them. Yes, come on with you and your kids, baby. It's all right. We're gonna love them all.
This is a great question. Miss Pretty Amazing says, J-Dub, to follow up, do you guys feel that it's something wrong with a woman who hasn't been married by a certain age?
Absolutely not. I mean, everybody has their own experiences. Like I said, my preference, my personal preference would be a woman who has been divorced at least once to have that type of concept of marriage, even though, again, it's different. But no, everybody has a different walk of life. Everybody doesn't have children. Everybody's never been married. It's all an individual type thing. So I don't look at any of those as stigmas at all.
What about you?
Not at all. Like J-Dub said, everyone's different. Everyone's life is different. Now, I'll be honest, if she said something like she ain't been in no relationship by a certain age, then that might be a little bit different. But marriage is a big step. So if you take that seriously, and that's not something that you're just going to jump into easily, and you want to take your time, and you want to make sure you get it right, and you just haven't gotten it right yet, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Great point, Ty.
I'm here. Okay, so I'm gonna have a problem. Y'all gonna have a problem with me. So I've really tried to consider guys who have never had kids or who's never been married, and I just feel like that's not my cup of tea because, like, all right, remember I'm 40-ish, so when you get to this age and my experience, and I'm not saying it as a negative thing because that's what some people like, but I have children. My life is always like going around. Like I need someone that can be flexible, that can operate like on a whim. Like we might be going left. Okay, now we need to make a right real quick because somebody got something or something happened. So in my experience, I don't feel like I mesh well with people who have not been in long-term relationships, a marriage, engaged, or doesn't have a kid or two, because in my experience, they have not been flexible for me. I feel like we bump heads because like things where I'm like easygoing because I have the experience of kids and I know how to be selfless. You know, these people, they've only had to be like me centered and they only operate on their time. And I think like that adjustment is harder for them.
No, we're
In
on
my
the same
experience.
page. Yeah, we're on the same page, Stacey. I mean, again, that's like having experience of being married previously, as well as with children. Like you said, a person who has never experienced either really couldn't understand why you be so devoted, or you can't make room for them, or you have to make adjustments. They're like, why we can't go out? I don't understand. I'm here, you here, and yeah, they would be more self-centered. So I get it. It makes sense.
So, does anyone have anything else to say about Aries and Philip's date? I can't believe y'all kind of feel like that he not really being like he got all the right answers. I don't see that. I feel like he's being genuine.
I can see that as well with the guy. I can see. I'm happy for Aries because I really want a connection, like a genuine connection for her. However, I did observe like it's J Dub and Ty. Like I felt like I know it sounds so stupid because they be like, well, what kind of answers do you want? But when something is too right, when you giving too right of an answer, when you're using cues, like all of us, like we know, answer a question, like, you know, when you go to school and you're writing an essay, include in your first sentence part of the question when you're answering it, right? So, I mean, we even saw that with what's the guy named Tony and Morgan in Miami. I'm a believer. Like I'm a child of God. Oh, let's pray. Let's pray about it. So I just feel like, you know, when you answer a question with a portion of the question, I'm always gonna be like, "What's talking about, Will?"
Oh, you go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not hating on them. Like I said, they align well. If I had a concern, it would be, if there is other competition, like within the group, aside from Aries. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm feeling like, Phil is looking around and he's seeing that, pretty much I don't want to say his only connection, but from what we're seeing, Aries may be his only connection unless Kira jumps into the picture at some point. But we're not seeing, a lot of other, and that's going to sound bad, we're not seeing a lot of interest from the women towards Phil. So for him, it's kind of easy to just, go at Aries and everything is working well. He answers all the questions. They fit. Why not, go forward and see what happens?
Well, I'm glad, like I said, another round brought it up because I was definitely going to bring up that maybe it's not really all the way what it is, because I would have liked to seen Aries ask another question. Just say, how do you picture family life, or what are your goals, or what do you want out of life? Not this is what I want. And then you say, yes, that's exactly. I always wanted more kids. Actually, I prefer already made kids. I prefer your kids. I've been dreaming about being a father to your kids. And she's like, yeah, that's it,
Oh yeah.
No. Yeah. Yeah. I always wanted 2 boys, 2 years apart.
Oh, lucky for you, I have 2 boys exactly 2 years apart today.
Yes. Yeah.
Like my gosh.
Right.
You are just so dreamy.
Right. And it's starting to come out in the comments. I can tell people have been looking and feeling, and they just didn't want to say it. I even saw in there J-Dub's a hater. No, J-Dub brings the other side to things. I'll say some things that people won't say or bring up. So that's what it is. J-Dub's never hated.
Yeah, some hating tendencies.
Well, I mean, it's all it's subjective. I don't have nothing to hate over. J-Dub does all right. He's doing well. It's not an issue or problem in any aspect. I'm done.
You know what? If you would have brought your chains today, we would have gotten the point that you're doing well. But you left the chains off, and it's just a white tee. So we just assumed you were a hater. You have the hater white on.
Well, like Rashid, I had to kind of downsize. I still got the Rollie, and it's definitely real, but the chains had to go. I couldn't hold on to them.
Yeah, we need to see that Arab money, J-Dub.
Yeah, Yeah, he said need that. I want to really put Habibi to rest because he wasn't worthy of the attention, but he had the nerve to come on TV with the Punjabi MC look from the Dubai airport. You know, we had to speak
But
on. We can't.
I feel like you're giving him too much credit. Like it was more like Punjab from Annie. Like it wasn't even like Dubai.
I agree. I totally agree because I don't even know if he ever really been to Dubai. We just going off of his word.
He said he was.
Yeah, that's what people say. A lot of things, you know. That don't mean it's true, but you're right. You telling our age. You talking about Punjabi off of Annie and stuff like that. You know, some people won't know what's going on with that, but we're gonna keep going.
He was the hero, though. He was the hero. He unwrapped it and saved her life. Look at that. So maybe Habibi is like a hero in the waiting. He just doesn't know it yet.
I got nothing.
Yeah, we can move on, but that was fun.
Good for them. Don't mess this up.
Oh, you're ready to move? I was just thinking to move on too.
Oh, you like to move on too? That's exactly what I do. I move from one situation to another because we have to continue to move forward.
You're so smart. How could you read my mind?
Yeah, because I love school. I love learning. I love people. You know,
really? Because I'm a teacher.
You're a teacher too. I went to school. For like 16 years. I mean, we're right here. We're right.
Oh my gosh, the same amount of time I went to school.
Oh my! This is amazing. Amazing. Do you feel what I'm feeling? Do you feel it?
Oh my gosh! So you felt something because I was feeling it too.
Oh, you have a lot of feelings too. Oh, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're waiting.
Go ahead, Sabrina, with Miss Sierra and Christopher.
So Auntie Eva says that she's actually loving this improv.
That's probably one of the best parts of this show when they did the improv. I mean, I didn't like every scene, but the improv was working. They should do that improv situation more often. It brings people's personalities out.
Oh my gosh, I thought that was so awesome. And so I'm so glad you brought up improving today. Like, how did you know?
Because I actually studied improvisation, you know, so that was my major in college. I know you never heard of that major, but that's what I've majored in, improvisation. You know, that's so we're here. We're right here. We're right here.
Oh my gosh, I'm so there too.
All right. So are we ready to talk about the Birkin in an Uber?
We're always ready.
Child, sure. Listen. Go ahead, Ty. I'm interested in your perspective on this one here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm running. You want me to go first?
Yeah, why not? You on time.
You had to talk.
All right. So, like, when this all started, right, he was saying some things about himself. He was saying that he's into fashion. He's saying that he's paying attention to what people like. So that sparked interest in her. And she said, well, I like Birkin bags. You know, I like Chanel. So, you know, we talked about this in Houston, like, don't block your blessing. You know what I mean? If it was me and someone was talking about something like that, I would want to explore that. You know, you like Birkin bags? Okay. I like Breitling watches. You know, tell me more about that. Is that something that you're investing in? Is that something that you're wasting money on? In the end, she didn't ask him to buy herself a Birkin bag. And when it came back up and he was like, if I was going through a rough patch, even then she said, if I want the Birkin bag, I'm going to buy the Birkin bag. You know what I mean? So I don't know why he brought the rough patch up thing. I don't know why he felt like he needed to uh, support her or save her. You know, he could have approached it like, hey, she already has Birkin bags. She bought the bags before she even met me. If I have someone that can afford Birkin bags, and if we're together, that means we can afford Birkin bags. Why is that a bad thing? Why are we talking about, rough patches? Why are we talking about leaving me if there was a rough patch when even when he asked her, I think her exact words was, why would I look at you different? So maybe, it was just something in him. But I feel like if he brought up this rough patch thing, I feel like in the future, if there is another rough patch and it's not Birkin bags and it's just a dinner that she wants that he can't do at this time, I wonder how he's going to feel about himself, right? Is he going to feel like he can still provide and make his women happy, or, would he be depressed because, I know what it feels like to not be able to do those things. So, you know, um, conversations are different for people that are what's the phrase I'm looking for? Financially stable. So subconsciously, your thoughts and your questions and your approach to life is different. So, maybe based off of his experiences, that is a huge deal to him for this type of conversation, for this Birkin bag topic to come up. But personally, I would want to explore more. I would want to hear more about that. And I wouldn't have taken it personally at all. But, that's just me. And if that's him and his feelings, then of course we got to support his feelings. There may have been more to the conversation that we didn't hear. But from what I heard, that would have been my approach.
Wow. Like I said, the spirit of Phil is pouring over this panel. Like, Ty, we're right there, because yes, he should have taken a total different approach on it. I think in this scene, he was triggered, and obviously it has something to do with like some type of financial situation, or maybe a woman took advantage of him, or I'm not sure what it is, but it's something there. He gave it way too much energy. It could have been a general conversation. I do kind of agree with the point, even though her taking an Uber doesn't really relate to what her financial status is. However, it could have just been a conversation. Like, so yeah, tell me about your interest in Birkin bags, or what does that mean to you, or how did you just get into it, and just find out where it's at. Because even if she was asking for one, if you're just meeting someone and y'all discussing Birkin bags, you could just let it roll off your shoulder, because it's like, I know we're not talking about no $50,000, $25,000, even a $10,000 purse when we sitting down just having a conversation, meeting for the first time. So yeah, it's he played himself on this one, and like he really kind of exposed his I'll call it emotional instability. I'm gonna go that hard on it, because it didn't cause for that much energy. And I definitely wouldn't have participated in it like that. And I mean, if he wanted to talk about it, he could have just, again, continued to explore her expectations or her lifestyle. Because if you got a $50,000 purse, you should have $1 million house and a $100,000 car and whatever's come with it. Because that's a lifestyle kind of thing. That's for rich people in real life. That's a thing. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to Stacy B. Look what you got, Stacy.
Well, I couldn't disagree with you guys anymore. Okay, so I felt like this date was dry and dusty as hell. Here they are just saying dumb stuff just to occupy the time, wasting our time, and then without any like preface to the whole, like, I can see it throughout the previous episodes. Like, I think we know she's a designer, like her career is fashion oriented, but I think that maybe I think that would like maybe fetishes, like designer fetish, or like collection memorabilia, things like that. If that had been brought up, then maybe the whole Birkin bag comment would have made sense. I'm kind of with Christopher. Like, I can understand, I can see how y'all could feel like maybe it brought up some insecurities in him. But let's talk about what like real relationships are made of. If I am the main income provider and something happens where I could not furnish the lifestyle that you're accustomed to, and I cannot, meet you where we're used to meeting for a short period of time, you gonna go buy a bag or you gonna pay the light bill? I need to know what your mental of like what kind of person am I dealing with. So we saw like where the conversation was kind of superficial, and Christopher showing his actual maturity and maybe with a snap dab of insecurity, probably from being burnt. He probably didn't overpaid for somebody, took somebody to Mastro's and they ain't go home. Something foolish. However, he changed the conversation to something mature and adult. And then in that, it still wasn't we couldn't match. Like, you see two people that aren't even attracted to each other, have nothing in common, don't have anything to say to each other. Even if she would have said, I like baking cakes, I'm sure somebody would have had a problem with it because this ain't it. This just ain't it. And, I'm sure his comment about the Uber was a little slick because he know more than what we know. He's there. We're here. So he probably like, girl, you acting like that, but you took an Uber. Because we done seen some people's lives. So.
And some of these safety programs.
I will go out and say that I appreciate Sierra and her personality. She has been one of my favorites so far. I just thought this was like the wackest, driest, biggest waste of Birkin time we could ever have. Like, come on. And for the record, I do believe that Ms. Birkin passed away. So them bags are not starting at $10,000 no more. So y'all better go mortgage some homes and stuff. PPP ain't out there no more. So I don't know what to tell some of these people what they're going to do to be getting them.
Yeah, but you can't be like clocking other people's money. You know
You
what I mean?
can
Maybe
clock
she
what
got
you
it.
want
Maybe
to
she
clock.
got it like that. They're
Well,
not together.
On the last date at the Improv, she said, "Oh, what does it take to have a baby? I got money." So we know that she's good. Her coins sitting in the bank. She said it more than one time. She said the money thing more than one time. So we know card ain't declining. We know that.
But like she also says, this is one of the things that ends up being an issue in relationships. Like, and even if we were to take it down a notch, like my sister's a single mom with a home, just something simple like having a home, I've seen that be intimidating to some guys who don't have the home. So, like I said, I don't think he needed to block his blessing. She, from what we saw, wasn't asking her for anything. And if she's financially stable, why not explore that as opposed to saying that's too much?
Well, guess what?
Having this conversation? Because that's subjective.
The blessings in there, he ain't blocking no blessings because the blessing wasn't landing up on a sheet. The best thing that I can say from there is they are friends, are frenemies, one or the other, but they ain't anything other than that. Wasn't nothing coming from it, going to it, leading away from it, nothing. That was dead, dusty, dead, RIP, kill it, dry, chocolate, cake, dry. No, powdered, little pirouette, dry, dusty, make your mouth them little cookies. They don't have no moisture in them with the little powdered sugar on it. No, dead, kill it, dry.
Said the church's biscuits.
Worse than
church's biscuit. KFC biscuit.
Tell us how you really feel, Stacey.
Dry.
No. Dry. The date was dry. The connection's dry, dusty. Hang it to dry. That's like, we ain't even put no fabric softener, no dry sheets in a dryer to spin it around and dry it. No, it's just dead. It's clunking like you put some shoes in the dryer. Bump. Take the shit out and let's move on.
Bingo. What she said. Dry.
Can y'all imagine like my children living with me and this is
No, I'm sure they've adjusted and it's rubbed off on them perfectly. And I think it's great. I think because my mom rubbed off on me. So, I really enjoy what you're doing right there. You're giving of yourself and a personality. You're a great mom, Stacy. And I had a great mom too. So I enjoy great moms.
Oh, I'm so glad that you enjoy great moms because I too had a great mom.
Here we go.
Don't we have great moms? That's great.
Oh my gosh, another connection.
Yeah. All that.
So I know for me, I feel like both of y'all are right. I feel like both of y'all are right. All three of y'all are right. I feel like she should have been able to say whatever she wanted to say. You know what I mean? Like, I like Birkin bags. I like Birkin. I like Coach bags. I like Chanel bags. I like, she should be able to say whatever it is she liked. But then she did say she was just joking. Like, Dad, I was just joking. Like, you're taking it kind of serious. But for him, because, for me, one thing about me is I really try to look at like both sides of the story, having the shoe on both feet, pretty much both feet. So, but from his point of view, he's like, Dad, she like Birkin bags. Like, well, like, what if I can't buy you a Birkin bag? Like, what if I come into tough times? Like what's going to happen? You know what I mean? So it's like, I understand like his point of view too, but I understand what she was saying. I just feel like the connection just wasn't there, because I feel like at the end of the day, if he was feeling her and she was feeling him, he gonna be like, baby, I'm gonna do whatever I got to do to get you a Birkin. And she gonna be like, for real? Because I wasn't even asking for one. Like, I was just saying. But he like, it don't even matter. I'll get another job to get you that Birkin. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like the connection just wasn't there. That's just what it is. Because think about how many people that we've probably have dated and settled for, in our lifetime, and thinking like, dang, like I wasn't really feeling him after like y'all break up and y'all not dealing with him anymore. I just feel like in that situation, that would be like them, but like if they really, really was feeling each other in the beginning, and then found out later that they just weren't compatible. But I feel like both of them, had their own right to feel the way that they were feeling. And, she said that, she can sponsor her own Birkin bag, if that's what she really wanted. And not saying she can't. I'm not in her pockets. I don't know what she got in the bank. But, that's not why she brought it up. But that's what she was thinking. But of course, me knowing she brought it up because that's what she liked. She wanted a Birkin bag. And my thing is I wouldn't have brought it up on a date. And I think that that's where the miscommunication came, because in his head, he thinking I'm on a date and she's bringing up Chanel bags. She's bringing up Birkin bags. Like, she want me to know, like, this is the kind of lifestyle that she wants to live. And in his head, he probably like, I can't give you that lifestyle. You know what I mean? So.
Or I just met you. Like, this is our first date. Like, exactly. I don't even know your last name yet.
They really do.
But I mean, you made a good point, because maybe if she would have said, I like land, and I mean, if like it was more of like my language, that I like something that I'm interested in, maybe it would have sounded different to me. But I feel like she was right. There's nothing wrong with her and what she said, but y'all know how I feel. It was drying away. I can't even try to make it make sense to myself. Not a connection.
She shouldn't try to be different to appease him. If that's what she likes and that's what she's used to and that's what she can afford, put it out there. If he ain't the one, he ain't the one.
Well, the spirit of Phil has left us. At this point, no, I'm in disagreement. Now, Sabrina, I noticed, like, I watched some of the panels that I wasn't a part of, and we're gonna go with your saying, when a man wants you, he's gonna be there. He's gonna show you. He's gonna do whatever you got to do. But speaking from a certain delegation of men, we're gonna stop and draw a boundary at Birkin bags, especially. He says that it's no longer a $10,000 starting point, especially on a first date. It comes off very materialistic. Granted, you got your Birkin bags, you bought them all. Congratulations to you, and hopefully your Birkin bag journey continues without me, especially on a first date. It sounds ridiculous. In my opinion, Birkin bags are for wealthy people, lifestyle people. Like, everything goes with, you got Gucci sheets and expensive cookware. Everything is expensive and lavish and all that. That's a lifestyle. I don't want to talk about it. Let's just get it out the way. Yeah, like I said with Ty, it made sense when he said, well, that's your interest. Yeah, I'll allow the conversation. I'll let you speak on it. I'll listen to you because it's obviously it's important to you, but I'm gonna step out on this one. So I don't want to do it. So I just want to put that out.
The double standard is that if she would have asked Christopher this question, he said, I like Louis V and Gucci socks, Gucci down to the socks, baby. Everybody would have had a problem with it. Everybody would have had a problem. Saying that.
Shout out to Really B. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate you as always. So we are discussing Sierra and Chris number 2's date, and she brought up the fact that she likes Birkins and Chanel's, and the response that Chris gave. Do you have anything on that?
So my response is probably not going to be a popular one. I agree with J-Dub. Like, I think we get a lot of things twisted when we talk about fashion, and Sabrina, you're in that industry, so I think you understand. There's a difference between saying I like designer bags and I like a Birkin, right? Real Birkin bags, like, I don't even think people understand the process of getting a real Birkin bag. Like, you have to go to Hermes. Hermes is appointment only. You have to get a card that gives you access to the Hermes store to even get the privilege of buying a real, I keep saying real in Birkin bag. And I know that it may not sound like a big thing, but at the end of the day, on a first date, saying, would you be able to somebody that you're literally just meeting, I just think that's ridiculous. And for her to have a problem with his response, now you can have issues with other things that that you might have felt about Chris, but that, to me, that ain't one of them. Because the average person, I mean, I'm gonna go on to speak for all of us, whether you live in a nice house, got money in the bank, the average person is just not in that position. And so I just felt like her reaction, I felt was ridiculous. Now, if it's other stuff, just say it's other stuff. But for you to hang it on a Birkin,
right?
Like, shoot, the average dude would do that for over a Louis bag. I'm just meeting you. Why would you even bring that up?
Exactly. That's how I feel too.
And you missed a point. How do you get a card to the Hermes store? You gotta know somebody that's a regular client of theirs to give you a referral. It's how you get the card. One of my closest friends, she's all into designers and all this stuff. Like, this is like, and she reminds me a lot of like Sabrina. Like, you have an eye for things, you know what I mean? It's not just like with her, it's not just like about design, it's about the quality, it's about like something exclusive, like nobody has, like these things. And so I understand, and I'm not knocking it. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm knocking anybody's love language or anything like that. But I guess where I'm at in my life is I'm like paying generational wealth. If I'm buying things for myself that I realistically can't pass on, or it'll be gone if my house burned down, I'm just not there anymore. So it's hard for me to relate to that.
Well, Merritt in the chat says, well, that's why she said she was joking. She wasn't joking because she brought it up in the lounge. If she were joking, it just would have been a ha ha. And she would have, the fact that she brought that up as part of her reason in the lounge, she wasn't joking. She really felt some kind of way about his response. Now she might have felt like, okay, it's ridiculous for about like a Birkin, but she really felt some kind of way about his response. She said it.
Well, somebody else in the chat I saw earlier has said she had gone live, I guess, after the episode, and she has several of the bags and she showcased them. So I believe that she has them and stuff. It's just
I believe that she has it, but she has access because she's in the industry. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I absolutely believe that she has them. I'm not doubting her closet at all. But what I'm saying is not us, but she throwing it out there like that's just it's just nothing. And it's not. It's something. Like, don't let Offset buying Cardi a Birkin every 5 minutes have people fooled into thinking it's that easy. That's all I'm saying. Again, it just, for her to hang her opinion on that was just, but I'm done.
Yeah. I'm done with this too, because like I said, it was dry and dusty.
Hey, Tyrone. Hey, Tyrone. Hey, everybody. I'm sorry. Hey, everybody.
Hey, really be.
Stacey, never mind. I'll talk to you later.
Did I go to the hospital? Is that what you asked me?
I was like, let me see your arm, but never mind.
Guess what's back? Told you I wasn't going into my 40-ish birthday with a cast on, baby.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much what I was saying, is that why even bring it up in the date? Like, I just feel like on a date, especially if it's like our first date, it's so much more, so many things that we could be like talking about. And I don't know. I just thought it was just kind of like, and then the fact that he ended with, she took an Uber here. And I'm like, what does that have anything
to do with that? I thought that was petty too.
It was all of it.
You're being so petty. He was really offended. I would love to see, to have been a fly on the wall to see how those conversations really went, because obviously it just kept going into the garbage.
Yeah. Sad.
If you have a Birkin, you should have
a fine as hell. He's still fine as hell.
Who's still fine?
Christopher.
Birkin bag is not. Christopher number 2. All right, guys. The next scene, we have Jessica and Chris number 1 again, and she says pretty much she's not getting no time with him. She ain't talking to him. It's nothing's happening really. So she said, you know what? Let me go take Christopher some lunch so I can sit down and talk to him, because he just is so busy. Chris tells Jessica that, he pretty much wants a woman on the softer side. He wants a soft woman. That's what, that's living a soft life, and Jessica's like, okay, well, Chris, I need you to be more consistent. So that's what I got from this date.
This another raggedy ass date. Can I say ass?
You said it now.
It's done. It's done.
Oh my
God. Stacey, did you just say what I was trying to say, but better?
Oh my gosh, how did you know that's what I was thinking? Y'all.
I'm just joking.
He's joking.
Y'all. Ty, go ahead. Lead us. You at the top. Lead Big Daddy.
I'm confused by it all. I'm confused between her walk up in the cement in her heels to the whole interaction to them just being in this setting. Like, I don't know if they just if they're trying to promote his business and what he's doing. The whole thing took a minute and a half, maybe. And then we finding out that they're not even really talking. And I don't know what soft assertive really means. I was a little bit confused by that. It seems like, you know, it seems like he doesn't handle conflict well with his mate, and I don't really know what that means just yet. You know what I mean? So to say that someone needs to speak to him a little bit differently when it comes to certain situations, I feel like I tried to understand what he was trying to say. You know, maybe he was trying to say, you know, I don't do public conflict, but I don't know if it's just you and your lady in the house, and she got something that she want to say to you. You know what I mean? Like you can't really just tell her, you need to come at me a certain way. You know, like I can hear him saying like, just don't be disrespectful, but I don't know. I'm confused by it all, really, and I mean that in the best way possible.
All right, well, let me jump in there. Ty, I actually understood what he said. I would just have liked him to put it in a different way. What Chris is saying in this movement of entrepreneurial boss chicks, of
No,
entrepreneurial boss chicks, and they running the
no.
world, and they got 20 different businesses and all of that. Say, you know, you got business here at the house, but I'm not your employee. So that's where we're gonna cut it off at. We, you know, we're here, we're together, we enjoy one another, but I don't work for you, lady. So don't speak to me like I'm an employee. So I get that. I just wouldn't like for him to use the word soft as his for himself. You know, I get that he wants, you know, a woman to speak nicely, to talk to him comforting, not like barking orders and stuff like that. Because again, you know, your boy J Dub in this world of boss chicks. Still, to me, that doesn't mean if your woman makes $10 million, that doesn't mean she rules over you. You know, I don't agree with that. So, yeah, I got what he was saying. And with the interaction, yes, it seemed very forced. I don't know how someone surprises you at your job when you're not even in contact. And just to speak on that, the contact, this is a dating show. However, nobody's reaching out, or the men aren't reaching out to the women in an accelerated dating process. This is very weird to me. Granted, if this was just regular life, you got your options and you deal with who you want to deal with, put them in order and all of that. But you signed up for a show that puts you in a space to pursue each other, and you only have a short amount of time to do so. So how do you lay back? Like, I'm gonna lay back on this one. I'm not used to this. You know, you've seen the show before. You know what it entails. So the show is not giving what we need. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna put it like that. And J Dub, Miss Pretty Amazing. What sign is J Dub? J Dub is an emotional Pisces man. You know, I'm answering the question. You got it, Stacy B.
Sorry, I had to unmute. I'm on my best behavior. You know, y'all full of it for real in real life. Because what you talking about? First of all, he said you're in a nice gentlemanly way. Like, men can't win sometimes. I mean, women can't win sometimes either. But in this instance, neither Chris 2.0, not Chris 1.0, back-to-back scenes, neither of the Chris's can win. He said it in a nice, gentlemanly way. Instead of saying, you loud as hell, I don't like the way you coming at me all the time. Last week, you done dragged me. Last week, the week before, you done dragged me through the barn at the hoedown, dragging me by my collar, trying to rah-rah for me. And then you asking me why I'm not calling you when you ain't even call me. I don't even have your phone number, sis. Then what he's saying, I would like you to not be as assertive. It can mean one of two things, which we know, I mean, from ladies' lounges, we know like she's like besties with Janelle. So I'm thinking she might have a little bit of spice to her that we're not seeing. Like, come on now, let's be real about it. Word gets around. And if you hear somebody will pop off, then you want them to tone that down too. Like, he did her a favor by saying, all right, like you team too much and I need you to pipe it down. He was like, well, I would like it if you could be less assertive. He was finding other words than the typical aggressive, da-da, like the stereotypical dog whistles people like to give to black women. So send a man some grace. Send a man some grace. And you're right. Just like the conversation in the scene before, the food was dusty and dry and wasn't nobody doing but taking a fork and pushing around that rice on that plate or the corn, whatever the hell it is. Push it from side to side, make it look like he ate some. And then, and I'm passing to you, really, B. How you gonna come at me with all this list of stuff? I don't call you. Remember, y'all know how I feel about I don't call you. I don't do this. I don't do. You don't call me. You're not consistent. And he said, well, you don't call me. You're not consistent. Like I need. We need a foundation here. They don't even have a foundation. She just wanted to drag a little fine man around the hole down and claim him without doing the work. Blessed be the fruit.
Boom. So who you disagreeing with, Stacey B? You was like, oh, okay, okay.
Normally, Ty, not on the same page. Ty lately has been clashing with me, and I don't appreciate his inconsistency. When you all in, be all in, Ty. It's either team me or team me.
No, I take the emotion out of it. I'm just not here to defend the cute ones.
But you keep saying, I take emotion out of it because I'm a woman who speaks passionately. I'm not emotionally attached to any stuff in my life going on. So it's not emotion, it's passion. Because if you didn't have me giving you this passion, guess what you'll have? Some flaky vanilla wafer, just dusty, dry Johnson baby powder settlement claim, dusty talcum powder on this panel from me. Listen, and I'm not gonna give you no dry and dusty talcum powder.
Whatever she was doing to him at the hold down, dragging him around and all that stuff, he allowed it. You know what I mean? So if he let her get to a point where he about to burst, then that's on him. You know what I mean? Like, he should know that most boss women don't even like to be the boss at home. You know what I mean? So that's why I was a little bit confused. Huh?
You just said a whole lot because a boss woman ain't about to pull you around nowhere.
So, again, maybe I'm looking at this totally wrong, but aside from she pulled up on me at work, I'm gonna just push that one to the side. I'm gonna let that one go. I'm gonna let that. But I feel like, again, the purpose of these conversations is to talk about, just like on any other date, likes, dislikes, blah, 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 interests, whatever. Chris said to her, I don't have a problem with you redirecting me, correcting me, whatever. But can you just not be as, I felt like he was nicely telling her not be as rude about it, right? Again, that's his perception. His perception is his reality. If he took it like that, then what's wrong with him saying to her, listen, I don't have a problem with you telling me when I'm wrong, but do you have to be so rude about it? Now, at the end of the day, if she's not willing to soften her approach, then he's not the one for her. And that's what we're here for. But I don't think that it's wrong for him to say, this is how I receive. And I don't receive that way. And then when he kind of threw it back at her, she had to be like, oh, well, yeah, you're right. I'm not calling you either. Well, again, so was he really wrong? Because he's like, yo, you jumping down my throat about something you're not doing. So I don't feel like he was wrong. I don't feel like he was out of pocket. I don't even feel like he was rude in how he said it. But again, she doesn't have to change. And that's fine too. She can be like, listen, I don't think it's anything wrong with the way I said it. I don't have time to sweet talk. I don't have time to coddle a grown ass man. I'm gonna just say what needs to be said. If you take it that way, you take it. Then this not gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think he was wrong for telling her that. I just think that listen. Honestly, I feel like there's really only one match in this whole season, and with the way this show changes up, they might be fighting next week. I don't know. But Aries and Phil is the only couple that I'm really feeling that's genuine in this. The rest of these people, they just don't like each other. And I just feel like we're going to have to BS our way through 4 more episodes of a bunch of people that really just ain't clicking. So it just is what it is, child.
So I don't gotta say nothing because really B just pretty much took the words
Oh,
right out of my mouth. Y'all got anything else on Chris and Jessica?
I'm shocked that Ty was searching for the answers or why Chris was saying what he was saying. I'm shocked. That's all.
Baby, he was reaching like somebody trying to climb up the castle on Rapunzel's hair, baby.
Listen. Sometimes you gotta say what it is. You know, sometimes you gotta say what it is.
She wouldn't receive it. He's apprehensive of approaching her in a certain way, and like Stacey B said, I mean, he put it in a nice little bow and gift so she could receive it, so it wouldn't be any conflict. But like I said, I totally understood what he said. I agree with what he said with the part of referring to himself as soft. That's just my personal preference, or I prefer not to.
I don't think he was calling himself soft. He was saying that he wanted her to be softer.
I think he referred it to himself as something like soft. Run the tape back.
But black men deserve soft energy too.
No.
Nothing wrong with establishing a boundary and saying that, you know, what I want for myself is, you know, every now and then I want you to be a delicate African violet, my baby. Nothing wrong with that.
So you weren't listening. I said I totally agree with what he said, and I subscribe to the school of Chris. Like I said, for me, in this cruel, cold world, when I come in your space, I need you to treat me nice. I need to feel you. I need to feel like you want me there. You need me there. You know, that kind of thing. So not like you're barking orders or you're giving directives. I don't want none of that. So I'm with it. It's just I thought I heard him also say like he referred to himself as soft. So we'll go back.
He didn't.
There was something about anger easily. Do we know what the exact words were? That's in my notes. Something about being angered easily.
Being aggressive, and that like he's like, you know, I know you got a personality pretty much, and I know like you can be. He's like, but you know, I just need you to be a little bit softer. I don't think he was saying that he was soft. I could be wrong.
You could.
But I feel like Ty is right. I don't know if it's this date or last episode where he talked like maybe in the past he used to get like angry easily, and that's something he worked on. So I think that he's just like in a let me protect my peace. You know, like I just want people that
I just think that she wants someone that's probably a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more masculine, and that's not him. And he wants someone that's a little bit more softer, a little bit more passive, a little bit more submissive, and that's not her. I feel like they might be. Say it again.
Oh, I was waiting for you. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying I just don't think that they're just compatible. They might be trying to make a connection, but I just don't feel like they have one. They're just two different people.
So what I said, put this date in the box of dusty vanilla wafers as well. Dusty, crumbling. They're going to make your mouth dry. Oh, and throw some saltine crackers in the box too. Dry, dusty, this date, it wasn't it. It just wasn't it. And we were hopeful last episode because she dragging him around like y'all know how like y'all know how back in the day, early 90s, circa late 80s, early 90s, when y'all have like Christmas or Thanksgiving and everybody mama make everybody come in front of everybody be like, baby, show them this. Oh, you can sing that song, show them this. Oh, you know how to hit that dance, show them this.
Mama got $5 on it.
She done dragged this man around like he was at Thanksgiving 1992 and wanted to show everybody how to do the hammer and the running man. So that's what she was doing.
That's what she was doing?
That's what she was doing. It's dusty. Oh, here's my point though. All jokes aside, here's my point. We as women, we can't accept for men to give us softness if all we do is give them 10s. If we on 10 all the time, how can we, like, if you want a manly man, which means that you want to be coddled, you want to live in your soft girl too, right? Because that's why people want this manly man, this because you want to be soft, you want to feel all delicate and cute. So you can't be like that if you constantly coming at people. If you constantly on 10, I'm sorry, Ty, am I losing you with emotion or do you think it's passing?
No, I just feel like as a man, there is a way to get a certain energy from your lady without asking for it. There's a way just in your body language and your response and the way that you talk to her. You can find a way to demand the level of I guess respect or softness that he's looking for, right? But to have to ask for it, in my opinion, it doesn't come off well. Maybe he's trying to respectfully check her, like J-Dub described, but I don't know.
But you know what, Ty? I think you're absolutely right. And if I were on a date with a guy and he said that to me, my realization would be he just friends on me and he's giving me advice to take on in my dating journey.
Okay. Well, let me jump in there. Let me get in there. I'm gonna speak on what Ty said. He was saying that he believes that you can, I guess, pull or get the energy from your woman that you need. I guess it's all in case by case basis. It's just like how somebody may be a romantic or not. I don't think you can really make yourself be one if you're really not in that space or that's not what you do. Yeah, you can give effort, but if something is not in you, it's just like it's really not in you. A person who's not used to being communicative or whatever, they're not gonna just start.
What? What's that word?
What? You're a teacher. I don't really communicate.
You've been making up words all night.
Yeah, let me make my word. Somebody who really enjoys to communicate and express themselves. You can't make that. They have to want to do that. They have to done the work. You just can't make somebody do that, no matter how you act. Somebody has to want to do it, or they're built like that. So to say, yeah, I can make my woman soft, and she's used to being the boss chick. She's used to handling herself a certain way. She's a 90s kind of girl living in the 90s world. She's going to do what she do, not because how you treat her. Yes, you can have an influence over people, but that's who people are, and that's why everybody is not for everybody. It's a thing in real life. It's just that's what's going on. So I don't know. I just don't think they're a match, and they just need to get away from each other. And no matter what, if how Chris wants her to be soft, she's not going to be soft. That's not who she is. So I'm done.
Ty?
Your rebuttal?
Yeah, man. I hope this don't come off the wrong way, but I feel like if she had already felt a certain way about him, if she already had like respect for him and his presence and the way that he handles things, she would have already been that way. But that's just me. Again, I'm not trying to say anything bad about them, but I feel like women know what. I feel like women know how to test you. I feel like women know how to please you as well. And I also feel like women know if they're doing something that's not pleasing to you. And if they're still going to stand in that, then there's a level of respect that's just not there. And if it's not there, then there may be times in the future where they get back to that space of perceived disrespect. And she
I
may not even care because she lost respect for him a long time ago.
Well, I'm gonna be Stacy to the punch. Stacy. Here we go.
Oh, that's
So
exactly what I was thinking, J-Dub. You took the words right out of my mouth.
I know, Stace. We went at the same time. I mean, it's like we had the same thought. We were ready to go. Yep, I like that's a great introduction. I do that too. I go, yeah, I do that too. So, I was about to. Ty, you made me forget what I was gonna say. Yeah, Ty, you was just saying that he could have made her or he could have influenced her to be that way. Well, you do know, not even just women. A lot of people they're not self-aware. Sometimes they don't realize how they behave or come off to another person. They may not try to be offensive, but they can still be offensive by just being themselves. And I don't subscribe to that's just the way I am, Yeah, you need, if you're going to come out into this world and interact with people, there needs to be an adjustment, that works for some people that you're dealing with. So Ty, get in there, Ty, go.
But if she's unaware, that means she doesn't care enough to have any empathy for him.
Or she just
you say she just naturally just like
some
that.
people don't know.
They're trying to ice me out, Brenda.
Yeah, we see like somebody may say Stacey B might be too much, but Stacey B may say, I don't know. Look at her face. I like that face. She may say, hey, I don't think I'm too much, or I wasn't aware that I'm too much. No, Stacey B, you're great. I think you're great.
But the right person can handle Stacey.
You can ask Ty. Ty personally knows me, right? He knows I can take constructive criticism or feedback. If you're telling me something because you really have some advisement for me on how to do better, you can't tell me if we Sunday fun day. But any other 6 days of the week, you can definitely tell me. But what I was gonna say, J-Dub, which I also feel that you are on the same page with me, is that Ty, everything you said would make sense if they actually knew each other, which meant they would have had to have each other's phone numbers, which they would have had to actually be in contact prior to this date, which in this dusty ass date with that, it wasn't even a picnic basket. It was an HEB cooler of food. So the food was cold. It was a cold rice, pasta, corn salad with no dress, no vinaigrette, nothing. I didn't see anything. They didn't even know each other. They don't know each other.
I just feel like we beating a dead horse.
Yeah, I wasn't really talking about that part. I was more focused on the.
No, I know. I'm just talking about in general. Like
you're talking about the cohesion part. But I'm saying this specific date, if it wasn't these two people, it'd be something different. But they established the fact. You don't call me. Well, you don't call me. Well, I don't have your number. Well, I don't have your number either. Well, damn. Okay, well, hey, friend. My name is Chris. I know you formerly known as the guy you dragged around last week, but my actual name is Chris 1.0. Hey, boo.
Stop. Miss Pretty Amazing says, Ty, how do you handle a strong woman to get them to be softer?
Was that a trick question? I'm not responding to your foolery. Like, you get no response from me. I'm not rewarding your bad behavior. You know it's bad behavior. I know it's bad behavior. You don't get no response for that. Like there's a lot of aggressive, bossy women out there. They're submissive to someone when they get home, you know, whether they want to show it or not. You know what I mean? And what you have to do is in your presence, in the way that you carry yourself, there's a certain level of respect that you should demand from your mate. And if you're not getting that, then you either have to let them know, verbally or non-verbally, or be done with it. Period. Like you can't stand for blatant disrespect.
Well, this is an excellent question from Miss Pretty Amazing, because Ty, you did directly say that you can treat your woman a certain way to make her softer. So that's where that's coming from. You said that. You said it. And I was wondering too, and especially when you're talking about, in a sense, they're not mates, you know, they're just getting to know each other. He doesn't have that type of influence on her, and they don't even like each other like that. But
right. But then I also touched on the fact that, you know, if it doesn't happen, if she doesn't make any changes for you, then there's just a level of respect that just isn't there. And if it ain't there, then it ain't gonna never be there. So that may be, you know, your moment to walk away from that.
Stacey B, get in there. I know you want to get in there. Stacey always.
I'm done. It's dry and dusty, and even a nice Southern girl like me knows when to fold her fan up. It's time to go. From dry, dusty, we ain't getting nothing else out of this scene. It's dead. It's the mud outside the house was wetter than what this scene was. Come on now.
Okay. So are we moving forward from the cold food? It's even colder now.
And
It's colder.
It's cold, dusty, and dry.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you, it was so cold. I can tell you how many coupons that HEB she used on that one. No, she went to Kroger, because you can combine coupons at Kroger. It wasn't even HEB. She went to Kroger. It was dry and dusty. Now, I love me some Kroger, but she got the day old salad, the kind with the lentils and rice. You know what I mean?
Stacey said the 7-Eleven 6-piece chicken.
Ooh. Baby, let me tell you something. You know what it was? It was flour. Just put the flour in your mouth and it's just dry. Boom. I should have had me some cornstarch and did it like from White Chicks and really to demonstrate my dustiness.
go get some flowers, Stacey.
I'm right next to the kitchen, honey, because I use mine.
So Katarina and Marvin meet for coffee in the morning. Kat wants to know, can you be monogamous, or can you be in a monogamous relationship? Like, that's what she wants to know from Marvin. And he like, yeah, I just need the right woman to do it with. But she said she don't believe him. But Marvin
asked the question. If you're not gonna believe his answer, why even ask the question? You know what I mean? Like,
because it's ridiculous that he's here and she just can't deal with it. Just like me, it's absurd. We're playing games now.
Marvin feels that they are a good match. Marvin says that he might really come out of this with a girlfriend. And Kat says that he ain't ready.
No, you're not.
Okay, guys, that's it. That's all my notes.
That's it.
I mean, well, you barely made a sentence. You barely made a sentence.
Why is Marvin here? And why are the people accepting of him? This is a joke in our face.
No, Marvin is still there because they eliminated Red instead of him. Like, I knew that it was gonna be first and second. It just depended on what order they were gonna do it in. But they probably should have kept Red, because Red did, even though he annoyed a lot of people, he did actually have like a little semi connection with Janelle. But Marvin, listen, Marvin, there's nothing wrong with your lifestyle. It's just the person that's okay with your lifestyle isn't here. And that's just really what it boils down to. You keep trying to explain it and you feel like, well, if I just explain it well enough, they'll want to be with me. No, they understand it. They're just not willing to participate. And that's okay. But Marvin should have been eliminated. He should have been the first one to go. I just feel like. Because if all the women should have sat in the room and said, "Are you cool? Are you down?" And when all of them said no, he should have been the first one to go. Because the reality is, if you are not open to that lifestyle and accepting of it, you can't change him. He's being upfront and honest, and he's telling you what he needs and what he wants. And if y'all weren't down with it, y'all should have put him out of his misery back at the mixer.
He shouldn't have contact with these women at all.
Why?
Because
Why?
he's a
I feel like you emphasize the time.
Can I finish, Stacey B, please? Thank you. Please and thank you with LOVE. Marvin is a sex dungeon master.
But why can't he have contact with the women though? I don't understand why that precludes him from having contact with the women. He's not a pervert.
Okay. Because we are in this world of we have to be accepting of any and everything of what somebody does.
No, you don't have to be accepting. You have to be respectful.
Can I finish, really, B? Can I finish, please?
Sure, go for it.
Thank you. Okay, so he's a sex dungeon master involved with women who are looking for monogamous relationships, possibly children, marriage. It doesn't go with sex dungeon. We have to let everyone be what they want. If you want to be a sex dungeon master with an apartment and lose your security deposit, you have every right to do that. However, we already know these women aren't looking for that. He's not looking for marriage. Oh yeah, he wants another son, of course, to keep in the dungeon or whatever. That's fine. That's his thing.
That's rude, J-Dub. That's rude.
It's fine. It's fine though. Like, just the same way everybody got their opinion. My opinion can be rude, as the people say. I can be a hater. It's fine. That's what I do. I say what I say, and no one has to agree with me. It doesn't make sense to me that this is like this is like the opposite of what everybody's doing. I would be offended. I mean, just personally, like, are you looking for what we're looking for? I mean, why is he here? He can have whatever kind of kink or program that he wants. That's fine, but I don't think it works in this space at all. Now I'm done. Y'all can get at it.
So all I'm gonna say is, I feel like we had this conversation 5 weeks ago. I think that, and I mean, I don't know how much of what you just said is you just being J-Dub and how much of it is you really feel the way you feel. But as somebody who has friends that's in the lifestyle, I think that's a very rude way of wording that. He's not a pervert. He can absolutely want to be in a monogamous relationship. He can absolutely want to have children and want to get married. Being into kink and things of that nature does not preclude you from living that traditional lifestyle, as long as you find the woman that is willing to do it with you. That doesn't make him a bad person for you to say he shouldn't even be around with these other, like he's a pervert or something. He's not.
Well, you said pervert. I didn't say pervert.
No. I said because that's how you're talking. Like, he shouldn't even be allowed to be around these women. Like, why?
Because for sure we can say for sure, without even asking, these women aren't gravitating towards that, and that's how it was. Maybe some people had some curiosity questioning that they had, but was anybody into that? No, they weren't. I'm not saying he can't want a child. I'm not saying he can't want marriage. I'm just thinking, this is what I'm thinking, that if he wants that, he has that type of lifestyle, let's put him with those people who have that same type of lifestyle.
I agree with you 100% on that, but
so
the way
that's all I was saying.
That ain't how you said it. That ain't how you said it at first. Because I agree that his woman ain't there. And somebody in the chat said you can't be freaky and monogamous. That is a whole lie. You absolutely can be freaky and be monogamous.
Absolutely.
I said all the women with children. It says all the women with children, baby.
No, they respond to me. And I'm not saying that either, that you can't be freaky and monogamous. And it even came out more. He wants to have his woman have sex with other people while he watches that. we can
that
almost
was the
assume
question.
that
Okay.
most of them don't want that. All I'm saying is put him in those spaces where people gravitate towards that lifestyle. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I put a little.
I agree with. I agree
you know.
with you 100%. His
Yeah.
woman ain't there.
So
His
that's
woman
what,
ain't there. I agree with
that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying.
that. Ain't what you said. That ain't
I
what you
still
said.
say he shouldn't be in that space because nobody is looking for that.
It
And
was
this
the way
is not
you said it.
that type of show.
It was the way you said it.
Oh yeah, well, I say what I say. That's the model.
He shouldn't even be around these women.
He shouldn't even be. Yes, because ain't nobody looking. Yeah, I'm sure Aries doesn't want to subject her two boys to the dungeon. No one's saying you can't be freaky in a monogamous relationship. I'm saying that's a lifestyle. That's a lifestyle, and he should be surrounded by the same people who are in agreement to that lifestyle. And I'm sure he'll find someone. And
But
he's
you have
already found someone.
But you have to think too, like he would have never known until he went on the show. What if he came on the show and it was 5 women that was down for what he's down for? You would have never known.
Exactly.
It's a lot of people like Marvin out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see nothing wrong with Marvin. I love the fact that he came on the show and was like, this is me. This is about everybody in this world is different. Everybody is different. Everybody deserves love. It's somebody for everybody out here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean, if he into the dungeons and the whips and the mouth balls or whatever, the butt plugs, whatever, if he into all that stuff, like kudos to him. I was intrigued listening to the things that he was saying. I'm not saying I personally would want to date him because I feel like I would be really, really insecure and I really don't want to share myself with anyone else because we learn at the end that he's a skag, a wag, a cag. I can't remember. And he likes to watch his mate be with, but we're going to talk about that. But all I'm saying is I'm not down for stuff like that. It's cool, but I was definitely intrigued, you know, and I hope that he really does find someone. And guess what? He really could have met his match on the show. It could have been a woman that didn't even know she was into stuff like that. And she could have been like, dang, Marvin just opened my eyes, and they could have fell in love, got married, and had some boys. Like you really don't know where the universe is going to take you. You don't. You don't know.
We saw Unique. We saw Unique, who is the only one who is open to it. But based on Marvin's conversation at elimination or whatever, he had her at the bottom because he felt like he was at the bottom. So his 2 tops really wasn't riding for him. So he did that on purpose. So here's my problem with Marvin. J-Dub, I know I'm normally not over here on this side of the street, sitting here kicking dust up with you. But let me say something. Marvin was just doing too damn much. Team, too much. There's nothing wrong with his lifestyle. I like a little spice. I like you to be a little sexy. But let's also talk about relationship building, foundations, everything. Like my foundation, like when you say build a foundation, I don't mean for you to strap me up against the wall where I can't move foundation. I'm talking about relationship foundations. When we talk about relationship goals, I don't mean your goal of swinging me in that little toy chair with the little apple in my mouth and my eyes blindfolded. That's not like, I just feel like if Marvin would have, and I don't know what his edits look like. I really don't, because we had a conversation with him. And his actually was so crazy. Like I be getting so confused because it's like his Dom name is Aries as well. So I be getting confused between Marvin and Aries because like that's his thing. But he seemed like a really nice, genuinely guy, which I'm cool with. And I would have enjoyed to see more of like what can attract me to you, where we can have some common ground, rather than like the exploitation of fetishes, you know, because we know relationships can't exist on fetishes. And I'm Stanley Love. So I ain't gonna share you. You ain't gonna share me. I don't make the Kool-Aid. You gonna drink it. You gonna drink this Kool-Aid. Let me tell you something.
Amen. Yeah, the foundation is erotica, Stacey B. That's erotica.
I'm down with all that stuff. I'm just trying to be down with it just with my man though. I ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying? But you just gotta find somebody that has the same interests as you. You know, and I seen someone say that like he shouldn't have been on the show. I know some people really do feel like that, but who's to say like why he can't be on the show? Like why? Now it would be different if he was a gay man on a show looking for love with women. Now that would be a little bit different. It's kind of like he shouldn't have been on the show. You know what I mean? But because he has certain pleasures or certain things that he likes to engage in that others might not like. But like I said, y'all just don't know. Like he could have opened like a woman's eyes, and you know what I mean. So it's like I don't know. I just think that a lot of times like y'all like we make simple comments about things, and y'all be like y'all are such judgmental. But it's like in a time like this, it's like like we're not being well. I know I'm not being judgmental, and it's like he shouldn't have been on the show, and I'm like why he couldn't have been on the show. You know what I'm saying? Like.
I like it because you know what? Because like, okay, if you think about it, like I was thinking about something the other day. Oh my God, come back to me. Oh, I just left me. Jesus.
Oh no.
Oh no. Get some
and
water.
Let's never forget that they're producing a show. Who's to say that one of the women wouldn't have been open to it, wouldn't have been down with it, and then that would have been a whole interesting storyline that all of us would have followed. So you don't know what other people are into, whether they admit it in there. I don't know the process that you guys go through, the interviews and the questions that they ask you, but it may not have been something that came up. But once Marvin was cast, it might have been because Unique was intrigued. I don't know if she was intrigued enough, but she was definitely interested. She was definitely down. She wasn't turned off by what he told her. She was going on the dates and was interested, and she was listening. So she was intrigued. Now I don't know how deep it went, but she was intrigued.
So Lucy B wants to know: do the producers ask the cast about your freaky levels during the interview process?
Ready to love cast.
Well, I got 3 kids. I have 3 children, so I just feel like that's not a question for me. Clearly, it goes down.
I was asked. Yes.
I mean, you freaky. That's 2 different things.
Yeah.
For real, they asked you that, well?
Yeah, they asked what are some of the things that I like, what I would be interested in, women liking sexually.
Oh wow!
And
they ain't asked me none of that.
They ain't asked me any of that either.
Wow, maybe.
So what did you say? What was your level that you gave them?
Right. What was your response?
Can I want me to answer the Marvin thing first?
Can you
what
the
answer it?
Like what
No, I said want me to answer the Marvin. Like, all right, so Marvin's one of my favorite guys on the show. I feel like he's been open and honest from the beginning, but I also feel like they're not showing all of his interests. Like they kind of touch on it finally in this episode, but as someone that has dabbled in the lifestyle, I get it, I understand, and I feel
you dabbled in what?
Everything that he's saying, right?
I feel like we need a radio show.
Listen, you can have the lifestyle and you can have love in the lifestyle. Absolutely. Some of the strongest bonds I have ever seen are from couples that are in the lifestyle.
Me too, Ty. Me too. Yeah, I got friends. I have friends that are in the lifestyle that have been married longer than some of my traditional married friends.
Wait. Yes. So wait. Okay, remember. I'm all the way down here, down south. I'm just like a wee little lowly little Catholic girl, baby. Let me say something. So what lifestyle y'all talking about? Because I'm so confused here.
Alternative lifestyles.
We'll just say it's like
Like, where are the
non-traditional.
alternatives? Like,
It's just non-traditional relationship, non-traditional marriage, what many people would consider taboo, like to the point where they're even afraid to even talk about it. But when you go home, you know damn well the freaks come out, right? So basically, Marvin is doing that publicly, right? So, but in his mind, it's not a negative thing. So why can't he talk about it? Why can't he come on the show and express what he likes and what he enjoys? So we did hit on a bunch of different points. And I understand that in the lifestyle, your lifestyle changes with your mate, right? And in most cases, your mate has control on how everything is going to go. Like your lady literally makes the rules in almost all the situations. So if your lady is making rules that you are cool with, then you're going to ride with her because y'all are both into the same things. And we want to say that, you know, the sexual aspect is not important, but for some people, it's like almost everything. We were talking about Frank uh, from our season. And Frank, I forget the word, it's not sapiosexual, but Frank explained that, you know, sex is one of the most important things to him. Um, I also feel like in this forum on the show, for the most part, because of what the show is, a lot of the women are not going to admit to being that way publicly. You know, unfortunately for Marvin, it just ends up being that way. But I'm big on integrity. You know, I'm cool with what he was saying. It just didn't work out for him, you know, this season. We saw last season, like, even Sue Ann was willing to hear out Fabrice. So we can't just say, you know, sex is taboo and nobody wants to hear about that on this type of show, because some people really are intrigued. Some people want to explore that. But because of like either their traditional way of life, or they know that their family members and friends may be looking at them, they may have to deny some of their true desires. And I get it. Hopefully Marvin, you know, it works out for him and he finds someone. I feel like he will. Like he's already talking up, like he already did. Good for him. It's not for everybody, but what I would say is, you know, at least try to have an open mind about it all, even though it ain't for everyone.
So Tyrone, a lot of people are asking, what do you mean that you dabbled, or dipped?
I, I, I had an ex that was willing to experiment in the lifestyle.
And they're wondering what type of lifestyle, what kind of lifestyle are you talking about?
like, we need to know, like, what is it? Like, y'all going to swingers parties? Y'all, you got a trampoline.
Oh my
and
gosh, I've never. I'll just say this: I've never fully swapped, but there have been other people in the room.
Okay. So here's my thing, and I just really want to defend the women on this season, because, like, for me, I think, like, for Black women, it's hard for us to walk a line. Like, when we're genuinely, like, interested in something, like, we might want to know more. We might want to try something different. But then we're gonna be labeled as a, you know, like, who has free for the taking.
No,
you know what I mean? So it's really hard for Black women sometimes to express things. And I feel like people, like, keep saying, like, y'all don't want to be judged, but y'all are being judgmental with this. But I think it's just, like, hard to find the exact words, because, like, if you freely, the girls on the show, if they freely, openly co-sign, y'all know how it is. We've been on a show. We know how people drag us and criticize us for our makeup. So imagine comments if you're listening to it, or if you're like, oh, right, I'm interested. People gonna take it all the way left, like you just out here, like you the 7-Eleven, like that cuckoo is a 7-Eleven. So I think it's really unfair for it's really rough. I remembered what I was gonna say. I'm happy that Marvin was on this season because like the other day, like maybe like 2 weeks ago, I'm watching TV and I'm watching Waiting to Exhale. And if y'all think about what Waiting to Exhale did for our culture, like you got to remember, like it was like a gay man doing hair, like being really femme, like it was a lot of things. And so now think about what year we're in, where a Black network can just now introduce to our people a voyeurism guy, a dom guy, a lifestyle, which y'all keep saying lifestyle, which when I hear that, I think,
but that's what it is. It is.
I know, but I'm saying like we're only other reality shows. They've had these kind of people. They have shows like this. We as a culture, this is our first only Black show where this is being introduced to a lot of people for the first time.
Right.
So
and I agree with. Oh, I'm sorry, Star. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Stacey. I was going to say, like, the producers are doing a really good job playing into our emotions and having us have these conversations. Unfortunately, some of the castmates have to be the villains in order for us to have these conversations. But they're really good conversations that I feel we should have more often. So go ahead.
I agree.
Really, B?
No, I was just gonna say I agree, Stacey. You're absolutely correct because I want to be respectful when I say this. Because people respond the way they respond when somebody is open about having a non-traditional lifestyle, it does cause people to not speak on it, especially women, because you are absolutely correct. People are very judgmental when it comes to women more so than men. So I agree, and that's what I think that's what Ty was saying as well, that it doesn't really lend itself for people to put that out there. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like if people would listen to what he's saying and not be so quick to judge what he's saying, I mean, he's just sharing that there's more than one way to do this thing we call sex, and there's no wrong way to do it as long as it's a willing participant and they're over the age of 18. There's no wrong way of doing it, and everybody don't do it the same way. So it is what it is.
I absolutely would bring him on my show because I got questions.
And I think you would do a good job. I would think you and Ty should do an interview with Marvin. I think y'all would have a great conversation.
Mm-hmm. I think so too, because I'm an open book too. Like I've always been that person, like you never know what you can learn from who. You know what I mean? And I was always like that person that talked to everybody. I would talk to the person on the corner, the person at the bank, the person mopping the floors at the mall, the security guard, the person in the Burger King line. Like I'll talk to anybody, just like I would sit down and talk to a millionaire. You know what I mean? And I just I love talking to people because I love learning things. And that's why I know, like, if I went on, what is it, that show Jeopardy? I feel like if I went on Jeopardy, like I might not win like all the money, but I will win like a good sum of money because I just be having like useless information. I just be knowing stuff that just don't make sense to even know. Right. And I just feel like that he is just definitely, like, I'm intrigued. This is the thing. At the end of the day, we have been on here an hour and 53 minutes and 54 seconds. Subtract the time that we have been talking about this man. That's all
You see what Kamisha said, Ty, Ready to Love After Dark, hosted by Freaky Ty?
Yeah, I mean, like, the stuff that he was saying.
The rest of the date's gonna be without Marvin. Because we had 3 days before this and it was dusty. I'm sorry, Ty. I'm sorry, honey.
No, I was saying, like, the stuff about the worshiping and the force.
I want to know more about that.
I can't believe he said
know about that too.
But golly.
Yeah,
it's exactly what it sounds like.
Look, that he
exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah,
there was this guy that told me he wanted to. It was so oh my gosh. Am I oversharing?
No.
No, share.
Okay, so there was a guy who I met, and we were on the phone a lot, and he was like, "I just want to have tantric sex with you," and I was like, "The what? Like
Ooh,
what?"
That's different.
So I had to read up on it, and I was I just feel like.
So y'all
feel like I'm in
I think he was trying to. I think he was trying to sneak it. I think he was trying to sneak you.
I just feel I'm one of those people like, don't talk to me like you can make whatever you can say some shit, but don't talk to me.
I don't think you would.
You know what I mean?
I don't think you would enjoy the tantric stuff, Stacey.
I definitely would not. After I read it, I would be like, ew, like, and then you breathe on me, and you know, I like got a feet phobia and shit. Like that is.
I could see you right now. Be like, do I gotta look at you for another 10 more minutes?
and you throw me to the roof too, Marvin. Give me some ideas, sir. But don't sit here thinking you're about to talk to me and turn me on. And I was like, you breathe and you breathe my air and you like have a, you know, the big OG. And I'm like, I'm not about to be breathing all that hot stuff.
He's trying to
let me
catch feelings for him.
So I'm gonna say two things because I know a couple of y'all have been saying like there was a TV show on HBO. You're absolutely right. It was called Real Sex. So that's the first thing. So the second thing really be your blurry. Come back into focus. Come back into
camera. I bought this expensive ass camera and it just keep acting up. But go ahead.
You're back. You're back. Yeah, you're back. No, you look great. Like it's clear. When it's clear, it's clear. I remember being on one of your lives. You was like, I don't know what's going on with the camera. But the second thing is that Stacey. So I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get a little TMI, because y'all know I give a little bit of here and there. So one thing about me is that, like, everything is mental. Like our brains are so powerful. Okay, very, very powerful. So for you to say someone could, I'm telling you, a person can talk to you and you can have an orgasm. Everything is mental. And the reason I say that, and the reason I'm saying it is because I have personally been there, but it was no one else around. It was just myself. So I have been in a situation where, like, you know how they say, like, you know, like men might have like wet dreams or whatever the case may be. I remember one night, like I was asleep, I woke up and I just was like, what is going on right now? And I was like, wow. And at that very moment, it made me realize how powerful our brains are. Like in real life, when you shut everything else out and you are that connected, it is honestly possible. But you really have to allow yourself to get to that place. Okay, that's all I got. I'm sorry. Was that too much? Sorry.
No, you fine.
We really doing this right now?
Yeah, this really is after dark. This really is after dark.
Are we really doing this?
Because what you was doing when you were saying that, you were making me have a flashback, and you know, I felt them little butterflies. I almost had a moment my damn self. Girl, I'm over here. Hold up.
You know what's funny? I actually do have after darks on my channel for my members only. I'm gonna have to invite you over, Ty. I feel like we can have a real good conversation. I'm gonna have to invite Ty to my members only.
I feel like we gotta give Ty before the night is over. Chat. Everybody, make sure y'all hit the like button. Hit the like button, then come back to the chat and give me Ty's whatever name. I ain't gonna call it a stripper name because I know like this is the lifestyle name. Give Ty, hit the like, come back, and give Ty a lifestyle name.
Mm-hmm.
They trying to hear from you, Ty. I don't know. Like
I just feel like y'all need to be more open. Like do the research, look it up.
Yeah.
Talk to people, get some answers, buy those toys, try some things, and understand what makes you feel good and what you like and what you don't like, and then request that from your partner.
Absolutely.
I agree. That's Miss Baythay. She's a member on my channel talking about some yes for the after dark tonight. Ain't nobody doing nothing tonight, Miss Baythay.
Because you never know, like what, and that's why you have to communicate with your mate, because you never know what they might really be. They might would want to do with you. Like you just don't know. You just have to have those conversations. Like, babe, like you want to go to the freaky store, like you want to get some whips and some handcuffs and some whipped cream and some bit.
I mean, I can show y'all some
Baby
stuff.
oil. And
Let me tell you something. This might be TMI, and then we can move on because I feel like Tyrone done told, Stacey done told, Sabrina done told. So I'm gonna tell a TMI story, and then I'm done with it for the night. This was years ago. Me and one of my friends had like a little basket making, like little business we were starting. So it was Valentine's Day, and we got a couple of orders for some naughty baskets. So of course we had to go to the toy store and, you know, buy all of the things to make the baskets. And my boyfriend at the time was with me, and we're in the store, and he holds up a sex toy. I'm not gonna say what it was. He holds up a sex toy, and he was like, "Oh, look at this!" And without even thinking, I was like, "Oh, I got one of those at home." Without even thinking, right? And he gives me this look like, "Oh, you do?" I didn't think anything else of it. Went on about our business. We went out to dinner, blah blah blah. We get home that night. He was like, "So, where's that toy you was talking about?" And we had the best sex ever. And like we not had that conversation and had not introduced other things into the situation, you know what I'm saying? It was a great night, and it opened up the dialogue into more things. So I mean, you just never know. You just never know.
Meanwhile, you talking about you was making them baskets, and my first thought was like, "Oh yeah, Daddy, throw me in a basket." I'm sure that.
I cannot with you, Stacey. I'm moving. I'm done.
You said throw me in the basket.
Y'all know I'm fun size. Y'all know I'm over here sitting real little.
I'm done.
SJ says J Dub has to tell a TMI story too.
He ain't gonna do it. Let me tell you something. He is
not
not about to do nothing.
How you know what
a few of these?
You know what J Dub will do?
Just a different. It's
Oh,
just
no,
a feather.
Wait a minute, y'all.
You can get different sizes. You can get different textures. I'm keeping it tame, right? This is simple. It's just a feather. You get an ostrich feather. You get different types of feathers. It's just a different feeling.
Yeah.
And then you can get a little bit more extreme and get yourself one of these. It got little spikes on it. It don't hurt or nothing. It's just to get a different sensation. This is the tame stuff.
That's one of them things. Like,
yeah, put it along your spine, along your neck, along, you know, just.
Child, how accessible were those items? Because you just pulled them out of nowhere, sir. Out the air. Are they underneath your pillow? Or you got a box under the bed?
He went into his dungeon real quick.
No, my footboard has a whole little section.
Footboard?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Where you keep all the.
You said, hold up.
Let me stop.
I moved the food over. Let me move the food over to one side. Did you say equipment? It has a section of equipment?
Yes.
So all them nights when you be doing your lives and you saying, "I'm about to go to the gym." Is that the gym?
Really be going to the gym. But what I'm saying is that if something was to happen, you don't want to have to go looking for it. You know what I mean? So if you keep it all in the same place.
In other words, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
You know what I mean? You don't want to be like, hold on.
I got kids, and all of those places are like Christmas gift places, so I couldn't hide none of them. And
Oh my God! They say it's not
so
the
next
crack.
So next scene. Jeez.
What scene are we on?
Oh, go ahead, J Dub. Let's do your TMI story.
Well, you know, J Dub don't really have no TMI story. Like Nichelle said, if people know who Pisces are, we don't. You know, we're very private people. However, just remember when we say emotional, emotion equates passion, feelings, all that stuff. So there's no limit to us. So granted, I ain't into the what do you call it? The Marvin thing, the open erotica. But if I'm with my person, my one, there is no limits. There's no limits. But am I gonna do that in front of somebody else? J-Dub's not gonna do that. He's too private. But no, I'm wide open. I'm wide open. That's all. That's as much as I'm gonna give to people. And that was too much. Eslyn, she said not crying. No, Eslyn, Esquire. No, that means passionate. No limits to please at all. There are no limits. April Gaines say no handcuffs. I love these comments. No, didn't I just say open? We're open. There's no rules.
That means no handcuffs. There's no restrictions. So you're not gonna be tied up.
No, if handcuffs are needed, bring it. Feathers needed, bring it. Whips needed, gag balls needed, whatever. Bring it.
Look, Dogface said I dated a Pisces and he loved to suck toes.
If it's required, that's what us Pisces do. We're gonna go all the way. We're not gonna halfway do nothing. All the way.
Valencia says somebody asked J-Dub if he likes oil on his head.
He had some rubbed on his head before he came on. Look at it glistening over there on that right side. It's glistening. Yeah, he liked that oil.
Yes. That's one of my love languages. Physical touch. Get the oil out. Get whatever out. The key is touch. Touch. Got to have that touch.
Oh my God.
Right, what was the next scene?
I don't even.
No, hold up. Really, we ain't gonna do that. Y'all get
about Marvin. We didn't even talk about the actual scene. We didn't talk about the scene because Kat said, "Can you operate in a traditional relationship?" Then next, we're talking about Kira and Herbert. A bear, Herbert.
Yeah, we got it.
I'm still on track.
I was about to say, Stacey B, would you like to start off with the scene?
No, you can go ahead because
Okay.
I came on here licking my chocolate baby because I had to consult all my ancestors, my black kids, my black mama, my black daddy. I had to consult my black cousins. I had to consult my black dog, everything black, my black Jordans, everything black that I had to consult.
Just blackity black. Yes. Okay. Oh God, these comments. Kira and Herbert have dinner at her house. He brings Jake, the dog, a gift. Ruff. She mentions that, he's pretty much not consistent. He just not showing up. She just don't know what's going on. Like, am I even one of your top 3? Like, I just don't know. Like, yeah, what you got? And then they do a non-TikTok video, and she wants to pretty much have him improve on his communication. And, he talks about, like, I'm juggling 3 people. Like, have you ever juggled 3 people? This is new for me. It's just different. It's different for me. I just don't know. So that's where we at.
Jesus, blessed be the fruit. Lord have mercy on us. Oh.
Yeah, are we sick of Herbie and his? Huh? Are we sick of his? I can't juggle all these people, and this is so unexpected. It just gives out like a lazy energy, or you just gonna as I even referenced Ty before as the hunting style. You can have your hunting style, but look where you at. Let's when in Rome, they're here. You gotta juggle the women. You gotta pick some connections and decipher who's working for you. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, he ain't juggling nothing. That's what Kanisha T said. Yeah, but he sure ain't. He's energy.
Just not into them. Period. Oh, okay. Like he's just not like. If you're into somebody, you don't have to work that hard. You want to talk to them. A simple hello text, good morning. Hell, Listen, you know how many players send out the same text to 10 women as soon as that alarm go off to get it out the way?
Morning.
Every morning, hey beautiful, hey beautiful, hey beautiful. They just cut and paste, cut and paste, cut and paste.
Yeah.
They get it out the way, they jump in the shower. Listen, it ain't that hard, bruh. It's just not that hard. They setting up the dates for you. Like, you ain't even got to work that hard. They're setting the dates up for you. You know you're going to see these women on some sort of regular basis. All you have to do is show them that you care. And that is 2 women who you claim are in your top that have said that you are not putting that effort in. So either A, you're just not into them, or B, this is who you are in a relationship. And either way, is I don't want that. I don't want somebody that I have to beg to call me.
Yeah. Anybody got anything on her?
Yeah, I mean this in the best way possible, but I feel like, he got that email 2:30, 3 in the morning about the date and saw that it might be Kira. And he was like, damn. All right, well, let's go do it. And, it just seemed like he was just forcing himself through the date. To me, she's clearly not in his top 3. Especially if she got to ask. I do feel like he may have someone else that we haven't seen yet. And I just think that's what it is. I don't know. I'm getting these vibes from Herbert. I hope it's not true. I hope he can settle on someone, but we'll see. Since we were talking about hunting styles, like I've watched them enough to have an idea.
Baby, can we talk about another dry ass date? The date was as dry as that TikTok. Like, you want to talk about somebody that just wanted to be touched, so they had to have a dance, so they can have somebody pick them up, throw them, and rub them on. Like, this was the most thirsty. I don't know if I've ever seen a thirsty, but like a dry thirst date on Ready to Love before. This was it. And I don't know why I'm saying that, but I'm just compelled to say it. However, I agree with you, J-Dub, with him talking about, I don't know how to juggle people. I don't know how to juggle people. Who you juggling? Because everybody that you say you're trying to juggle is telling you ain't calling them. You ain't talking to. Like, who are you? So guess what? His boo is hitting him up on the other line. He sounds like somebody, okay, I like her. I want to see him flourish with someone on the show. He seems like a good guy. Great catch. Seems like that. However, he strikes me as like, if we look back at the history of Ready to Love, and y'all know men who are so detached like this, they got a little boo thing. Sabrina, you know firsthand. Men who move like this had somebody before they came on the show. And they effed around and got on the show. So they're trying to keep their visual distance, but they kind of interested. But, So his vibes, which is so crazy because I don't have no problems with this man. Now, who I got problems with? Boots. But I'm sure we'll talk about that later as well. Don't do a picture. I'm not seeing it right now.
Ooh,
and she didn't even give that man no real food. Since I talked about the other food, let's talk. Okay, so this is when cast members like they didn't feed us. Because here we go with some old dry, raggedy food that again Herbert had. Oh, bless his big, and his stomach he a big man, so he hungry. He hungry. All he could do is move the peas from one side of the plate to the other and pray that a steak would pop up in between them, because that was a dry, dusty plate too. Now, bye. I'm done. I'm just so disgusted.
What you got, really, B?
Oh, I I already said it, but I think me and Stacey gonna be fighting later, so I'll hold on to that.
I thought you was about to say something. What you got, J-Dub?
thought I started it out about him being having low energy and making that excuse he can't juggle and he's not used to this.
What you got, Tyrone?
Nothing much else on this. Yeah. I think Stacey mentioned Thursday. I just feel like Kira didn't need to. I don't know. Just felt like she was trying really hard, and I don't like seeing that. Out of the women.
Yeah, I got nothing. We're just dry. Like this is that.
Girl, dry like that peas and carrots, dry like the risotto from the other one. Just dry, just dusty. Yeah. Oh Jesus! Like the starch you rub on the mochi so it don't stick in the freezer. That kind of dry. Just damn dry. Just dry. Throw the plates away. Ugh.
Yeah. I just felt like, I don't know. Everything is just seeming so forced for me. Like I'm not entertained. Not even a little bit. I really don't see no connections. I was liking it better. Like the internet stuff, the social media stuff was way more. Our panels are way more interesting than the show. Like I don't know. It's just so sad. But I got nothing. Can we move on?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh.
Ooh.
She's always so interesting. All right. Janelle and Quentin meet, and Janelle asks Quentin, how does he feel about because they're talking about, like doubts and stuff. So she asked him, like, how do you feel about our age difference? And he pretty much like, I don't think about it. It ain't an issue. I don't even know, like, why you even keep bringing it up. Like, I'm a grown man over here. Like, what you talking about? Like, what we doing? What we doing? Because we gonna we knocking boots. We gonna get married. We having babies. Like what you tripping on? And she like, okay, well, I'm just trying to make sure and see. That's what I got from the date.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much. I just feel like Quentin is ready to tell the world what it is, and she wants to keep it professional. But I do see them rubbing calves, under the table and stuff. So, there's a level of comfortability with them, especially if you're going to tell the grown woman on national TV that we are going to have sex. There's a level, there's a level of comfort there. So,
right.
we just let it be what it is and have this be the second couple, and we root for them.
Right.
That's my thoughts.
And Ty, you know how it is. Like when a lady said, "Oh, we are," that
that means they already did.
Right.
Oh,
and there was like really no pushback. There was no feeling of disrespect. There was no nothing. It was like, oh, that's what we doing. That's how that's how I took it.
Oh, we are? That's what you want to do? Okay. So tell the world I'm your number one. Tell them all I'm your number one.
But like, if it's gonna be a thing, hopefully, we see something come to fruition and they don't get voted off. So I understand they gotta be a little, coy if they want to keep it going, but at this point they just let it be who it is. It seemed like Herbert already done admitted defeat, but we'll see. But I did see that she did manage to say that she does have two connections, Quentin and Herbert. So we'll see how it goes.
That's the game part. She don't want no arsenal on Herbert. She said, how many weeks in are we? And last episode when they were at the little chicken, Hinchin chicken, she said, you don't call me. This is like part of the Herbert foolery that we're doing. And no shade, Lord, I know how I can sound. I don't mean any shade to Herbert. I just feel like Herbert has a situation already. And he just thinks that whatever women he's interested in looks good to him. And it's a shame because Brandon could be here in his spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, please
April.
stop bringing up Brandon.
Justice for Brandon.
Yeah. April.
Free Brandon. Curveball Brandon. Free Brandon. Here connect.
Curveball.
April brought up a good point about him not knowing that she was adopted. And do y'all feel like that was just something they wanted him to bring up so she can explain it?
She didn't really.
Because I feel that's important, man.
She said it before.
The very first episode. She talked about
in
it.
this date, he's saying that he didn't know she was adopted.
I see what you mean.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that was a cue card on that. Where PO at? Oh, PO is
this one. This one, Stacy. Where they like this?
That was a cue card.
Would they like, hey?
You know why? Because that's production trying to make. Oh, okay. So in honor of PO, let me have a PO moment. So this is production trying to make her likable again, like trying to bring out something. You know, like after there's a whole lot of stuff that piss you off, but she ain't about to go to next episode. So you got to bring back her likability. This was it. I mean, I think it's a beautiful thing.
It didn't work.
Thing. Okay.
Not for me, it didn't. I can't speak for y'all, but for me, it didn't.
I mean, you know, I felt it, but you know, come the lounge, then it kind of all goes away again.
Basically, that's what I'm saying. Like, if that was the case, you threw it away when you got to the lounge. You threw it right back out the door. So,
hold up. Laisha Lou said Brandon back with his family.
I mean, if so, like with that, I would be like, good for him, man.
Good for him. He ain't back with his family.
He's not back with the family. Okay, y'all have anything else with Janelle and Quentin?
Yeah, I wonder what that house is going to be like.
I don't know. So the next thing we have Morier and Kira. They meet up at the ice cream shop. They discuss the Black culture and the lack of that Kira has for it. And Kira feels that Morier prejudged her. And at the end of the day, pretty much Morier was like, yeah, that just kind of confirms that they just don't have a connection.
I have a question.
Yes.
Did I miss the NAACP meeting part of this? When did we come to the conclusion? Like, I'm not even being funny. Like, I remember last week when she was in the bottom and Morier brought this whole thing up about how important it is to rep for his people, and he need to be with a woman that can be there. But when did they have a conversation? I know she said stuff in her confessional, but before all of that happened last week, when was there a conversation with Kira where she said, yeah, I'm just not down with the Black people? When did I feel like there was a conversation that was edited out, because none of this is making sense to me. How did this become such a major issue? I missed it, and maybe I missed it. So can y'all tell me when that happened?
You definitely missed it.
Well, when did it happen?
I don't know what show, but when Kira speaks to that, she's probably the closest person to being a white woman, and she's really not down for the cause, and not that we're asking her to be.
Say that. So you added that second part. She said You did, because that's when they were talking about Quentin dating white women. And she was like, not that I have a problem with that because I'm probably the closest thing to a white woman. She never said nothing about not being down with the cause.
No, she did. I think she said it.
Yeah, I think she did, but that was very aggressive. But yeah, I think she did. But I can get some footage or something like that.
And then the other stuff was just like off camera because the other women introduced it as well because they talked about like her level,
Right.
like
So
she's
it
like
was
I'm
off
black, but I ain't
camera.
that
Okay.
black. But it was just like she spoke on levels. I mean, like if you want to put A and B together and think the next part in the sequence is C, then you can deduce from her comments on her proximity to black. And then I think that it was some extra stuff that occurred at the improv because I think from there, that's maybe they had a side conversation that we didn't see yet because that's when Marie was like, okay, I'm off this. I'm off it.
Yeah. Off it. Yes.
But I just want y'all to know.
Capricorn moon goddess.
I just want y'all to know. Wait. Let me show y'all something. I just want y'all to know.
Come land the plane, Stacey. Come on.
I just want y'all to know. I had to find it for y'all. So before anybody comes for me, I just want you to know I pay my dues every year.
But my thing is, but that don't make. I mean, I'm not saying this to you, Stacey. I'm saying in general. That don't make you down. You know what I mean? Like people.
That don't.
The only point that
I put my money where my mouth is. I do the work, and there's nothing wrong with anybody who doesn't, or if that's not their thing. But my problem with Kira is that don't act like Black women are the lowest on the damn totem pole. Don't act like that. Don't act like we play games and we ain't nothing. You know, like you can't believe that this man don't want you. Well, who do you want? You want a white lady? Oh, you in Texas. So your next guest is like, oh, you got a Mexican lady? When there's so many more Latinos in Texas than Mexicans, which was very racist of her to say anyway.
It wasn't racist, it was ignorant. That's two different things. It was ignorant.
Ignorant, racist. Ignorance.
It's not the same thing.
Racism is coupled in ignorance.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It is. That I agree with. All I'm saying is this. I ain't here defending Kara because she get on my nerves. But I just didn't understand how this became such a major part of her story. And I never saw the conversation. I saw her response to what Marie said. I heard what she said about the white woman part, but I never heard her, prior to Marie bringing it up, I never heard her say, I ain't down. Okay,
she said it.
I'm asking when.
But yeah, you told me she didn't say it. There's a difference of not knowing and telling me she didn't say it.
No.
Capricorn moon goddess quoted it. She quoted it.
Which part?
You said who quoted it? Let me scroll up.
Yeah.
What was the quote? What was the exact quote?
Let me go up. Even though
I've been saying from the beginning that I think she's getting bad.
She said she's not screaming Black power, but people assumed it was because she's not down for the cause. Maybe she doesn't because marching doesn't really work. But didn't she say that after Marie brought it up?
Yeah, it was after. It was like almost in
when
her.
Was the conversation before Marie brought it up? That was what I was asking. She did say that after Marie said to her, I need a woman that's down.
Yeah. So the way that I took it was she may not be at it at the same extremes as Marie, but it didn't take it as if she's not doing anything. Because I was trying to explain that there are different levels to how you contribute to the cause. And I felt like she was just saying, I'm not at these extreme levels.
And that's how I took
it.
And that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But let's not try to shame another person because you feel like he looked like he probably only dates white women.
He does.
He does?
Why is that impossible to believe though?
He
Why is
said
that
he never.
impossible to believe? Why do you
Here,
see that as
why?
disrespect?
Because he
No, that's
said it
it.
out of his mouth. He's never dated a white woman before. However, the other point is that so what if a black man has dated a white woman or a Mexican lady or somebody from Ecuador?
But
so what? That don't mean that
but
this
it's not.
is
But it's not.
only
So what? Your
exclusively
preferences matter.
people.
Your preferences matter. I've had black women turn on me by hearing that I dated a white woman in the past. So it
So
does
what?
matter.
But preferences
And
aren't
people like
only
to know what your preferences are.
preferences don't just lie on the melanin level of your skin. Sometimes people's preferences are a personality type, a booty type, a hair type. Sometimes people's preferences can vary racially, but it's the same preference across the board. Like, I just don't like that people presume that like your only preference because you have dated one white woman in your life, you only like white women. That's crazy to me.
That's
and
not
then
what she
the thing
said.
is, like, you're making it like dating a white woman is bad when it's not, or this is the upper echelon of the hierarchy, so that dating a black woman is like you're on the lower end. Like, I didn't like that.
I'm with you, Stacey. I'm absolutely with you. And I'm shocked, Ty. You can have your opinion, but you said he does look like he dates white women. What does that look like? And I ain't really
I know. I'm saying I know a lot of people that look like him that date white women. So from my perspective, that is a truth. From my perspective, just like I was explaining,
you mean like
from her
personal
perspective,
trainers,
that is a truth.
athletes?
Yes, black athletic guys his size date white women.
Okay.
He said, all we can go off of what he said. He said he has never dated a white lady in his life.
Right. Which she said that's fine. And then she asked again, Mexican or Latina? It wasn't like she was.
But listen to how that
preferences
sounds, because to me it sounds like she regards him as this, and so I can't see you liking a black woman. Like, you gotta like all these other people because you have reached this level of whatever it is in her mind. So because you're here, I definitely couldn't see you talking to a black woman. It has to be anybody else but a black woman. However, I'm not in that category because of my proximity to white. So because you're not attracted to me, I don't know.
I think the fact that we're having this conversation and some of us are taking it this way and the other way, I think the producers are doing a really good job in making us have these conversations. I said from the beginning that I think that she's been getting bad edits. Like really B said earlier, they really haven't really explained anything, from her side. Even with this date right here with Marie, he was talking about a cheeseburger, and then he said, oh, okay, well, the guys said blah, blah, blah. You understand? And then the date was over. So we never really got an explanation. All we got was some rough audio cuts about her saying this and that, and how she feels the whole black conversation thing is disrespectful.
But this is the scene where I'm sorry, Tyrone, but this is the scene where it all stems from. So can we just listen to the scene real quick?
Mm-hmm.
And then we can move forward from it? All right, guys.
The things that was asked was, like culture, like where do you stand as far as your comfortability, I guess, within that black space?
A lot of people prejudge me because I also talk very proper and I seem very, prissy and dainty. Yeah. I mean, I have black cousins. I love black culture. But am I out here just like black power and saying those? I don't know if I'm in those spaces.
The guys deliberated, and the agreement was
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Okay. I'm just gonna keep this.
What I ultimately wanted to invite you. Oh man, and don't tell me they put cheese on my burger. Oh no, that's mustard. That's mustard. So with that being said, they do feel that you are still ready to love.
Okay.
But I wanted to make sure that you also understood where the fellas are coming from. I would say,
Okay. The black culture thing to me is just disrespectful.
Yeah.
All right, we can go then. Yes, I'm good. Yes,
All
love.
right.
But I know who I am. So I will take this feedback, I will ponder on it, and I will see what I really need to elaborate more on as I continue on this journey.
Unique, we feel that
This is a terrible audio audit. Terrible.
Terrible.
It is.
We need to look at Lashia Lou's comment. It puts it in perspective, but you can't make the horse drink the water. You can't do it.
So I go
think
back
it's
to my
too
original
totally-
question. My original question was, did I miss the conversation that happened before that conversation? Because he started off by saying there's been some question about you and, your blackness, basically, is what he said. So I was just asking, when did that conversation take place? Was it on one of her dates? I'm not talking about her green screens. I'm not talking about after Marie brings it up. I'm talking about before that, because I feel like a conversation was had that was edited out that has turned into this whole big thing as to why nobody is liking her. And I feel like as a viewer, I deserve to know what that conversation was. You understand what I'm saying? For the men to be talking about, oh, we're questioning your proximity to blackness. When did she ever have that conversation, and who did she have that conversation with? We're looking at what she said in response to Marie's comments. And Marie basically just questioned her blackness, is what he just did. And so I'm going to just say two things and then I'm done with the conversation, because, that's just, I personally, as a viewer, I don't understand where this is coming from. It just seemed like it came out of nowhere because I never saw the conversation. So two things I'm going to say. Kedra is a cheerleader. She was a professional cheerleader for the Dallas Cowboys. She was probably a cheerleader in high school. She probably cheered professionally, blah, blah, blah. She has moved in those spaces her whole life, where she has been the black girl that has been picked over by the black athletes for the white girl. We can call it what we want. That is her experience. I'm not saying that every black guy dates white women. I'm saying y'all know, just like I know, if we being honest and fair, she has probably moved in those spaces where she is constantly seeing the black athlete walk past her for the white girl. So that was her trauma, maybe. That was her baggage, bringing that and putting that on Quentin, and that wasn't fair. But that's probably where some of that was coming from. The other thing that I'm going to say, and y'all ain't going to like this, but the other thing that I'm going to say is history will lead y'all. When I say y'all, I'm just talking about black folk. I'm not talking about anybody individually. History will lead y'all to believe that all black folk was down for the cause, when the reality is there was a large minority of black folk who was really on the front lines. When Martin Luther King came to town, black folk hid. They didn't want to be seen with him. They didn't want to be associated with him. They didn't want to be known that they were part of the cause. And that extends all the way, and we can rewind the clock and go back to the summer of George Floyd. And I'm not talking about nobody in this room. I'm not talking about nobody on this panel. I'm talking about in general spaces. All us black folk was not out there marching. We weren't. So for her to be honest and say, listen, that ain't my ministry. I love my black people, but I ain't going to be out there marching. I don't think that we should condemn her or crucify her for saying that. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to walk down that road. I teach history and I'm telling you what I know. So the reality is people like Bill Cosby, and I know he got a horrible reputation now, but people like Bill Cosby who wrote millions of dollars and donated millions of dollars to the cause, but he told Martin Luther King point blank, I ain't marching. Tell me what you need, and I'll send a check, but I ain't marching. People like Harry Belafonte, who would send his private jet, and he would march. Then you had people who would only march and never give no money. Listen, being black is not a monolith. It's not one way. And if this young lady grew up in quote unquote white spaces, and she says, hey, that just ain't my ministry, I don't feel like we should condemn her for that. I just think that for those that are condemning her for that, it's just as bad as the people who were with Quentin saying, oh, she shouldn't have said that about Quentin. It's the same thing. You're making assumptions.
No, she shouldn't have said it. She shouldn't have said it. And she shouldn't have said that about Quentin, because that's how it all got started. You did lay some facts out. Like, we know that a lot of people viewed MLK, Malcolm X, like some of our movers and shakers. We know they viewed them as radicals. That's not for dispute. And we can't draw a parallel between her and them. And we're not even talking about black activism. We're talking about black livingism. Us being able to operate in the same spaces without prejudging each other based on our own traumas. Girl, you 30 plus. Don't put that stuff on that man, and don't put your issues, and don't project your issues on these other women that got to come to the line.
But y'all projecting on her?
No, I'm being critical of what I saw on the show. She projected on them. She brought this energy to begin with, and then she was so shocked and appalled that anyone would question her blackness. Like, let's be real about it. You can't throw stones and then hide your hand, or be mad when somebody throw a stone and crack your glass. What you mad for? You dished it. Take it, sis. And you talk, and I can say I am in a professional athlete space. Might not be football players, but it's basketball players. And I can tell you what she's saying, that's fine. And it's true. I can understand that. But on the majority of the teams that we were on, the black team members have black wives, and we were operating in these same spaces. So it's unfair to just say this entire profession of men.
I never said that.
Are an archetype. Like,
yeah,
to say
wives
that,
are black.
I'm not saying that
but
you're saying it. I'm saying that is what she's projecting. And Ty, I don't know. You know, I wasn't married to a football player. I was married to a basketball player. We know the NFL and the NBA like that. That's two different levels there. So let's keep it above. Secondly, I'm gonna say this: when she needs to go and blame the aunties and the grandmas who lied to her and told her that she was speaking proper when she was speaking correct English. Are you grammatically correct, or do you just have a different accent? Because a lot of people from California, a lot of people from different areas of the country, they'll be like, oh, you're speaking proper, because it's an accent. It's a different accent. Do you understand what I'm like? I know y'all get it. Like, you need to be mad at the people that try to hold you down and try to keep you, like, make you feel insecure about you being educated by saying, oh, you're proper, like trying to distance themselves from you. That's not on us. Don't put that on us. That's not fair for her to do that to people. And then the reason why it's not fair for her to do that to people is because you turn right around and be offended when somebody throw it right back on you. That's what I have a problem with. Nobody's saying all black people got to be activists 100% of the time. There's people got to operate within their personalities, within their convictions, right? Is different spaces for different people. But what she did, and then how she tried to play victim, is some bull. And then she doubled down. I think I'm the closest one to white here. I have the closest proximity to white. Again, why? Because a lot of people, they got people that's biracial. They got people that have more of a proximity to white than you. Just because you grew up in places and spaces that was predominantly white, were you raised by white people? Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just so ignorant to me. I'm done. I'm good.
Can you give Marie the link? Because he said that the conversation actually started at the hold down. Thank you. That's all I wanted to know. So I feel like that's on the production. I needed to hear that conversation. Marie said he'll explain if you drop him the link. I don't know if you want to or not. It's getting late, but if you could for a few minutes, I would appreciate it. Because I hear you, Stacey, and it is what, like I said, I said my piece. I'm done.
Maria, yeah, I put the link so you can join. Whoo, child. I need to go pop some.
Girl, I don't pour me a drink. I don't know.
I think it's a.
Y'all know I really just drink out of wine glasses because I like drinking out of wine glasses.
I always do. Always.
But,
and it's juice.
Y'all know I always drink juice, but I had to go get me some wine. I said, "Oh Lord."
Where's the link?
I think it's a. Yeah, Mari is coming, right? I think it's very difficult to try to explain, especially based on your different perspectives and upbringing and stuff. Like, I understand what she's saying, right? I may not agree with everything that she is saying,
right?
But I understand what she's saying. She may not have said it in a way, you know, sometimes, you know, your brain finishes things for your mouth. I also get prejudged. Like, I can say something simple around my Miami family. I could say something like, hey, my father's waiting for me at home. Just something like that. Automatically, they're going to be like, you're not from around here. You soft. You've been hanging around with white people your whole life, right? I'm 46 years old. This is what I've been going through for 40-something years, right? So when I hear her say like something like, I am the closest thing to white, I'm not taking it as she thinks that she's above everyone else and her proximity to whiteness makes her better than everyone else. I'm taking it as, you know, based off of her experiences, she's probably been getting clowned for the way that she talks, for the way that she acts, right? And compared to what she's seeing from the other Black women in the room. All right.
That's one view, Ty, and I can respect
but
that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's only one. The other viewpoint
you refuse
is
to listen to the other.
I've been doing nothing but listening to you. I've been nothing but listening, and like I said, that's one viewpoint. However, as a Black woman, as a fair complected Black woman, I've heard one too many times that I was pretty for a Black girl. And I think this is the same syndrome that she has. I processed it. I was offended. I took it a different way, maybe because of how I was raised, because I took it as an insult to my mama or whoever else they didn't feel that was pretty, or they didn't feel that could articulate themselves, or whatever the person. And that's fair. Like, I don't deny that, Ty, everything you're saying is correct and fair and true. But there's a whole nother side of it too. And I don't doubt that she's dealing with some type of trauma from it. But I honestly feel like she's been told, oh, you're pretty for a Black girl, like it's a hierarchy of Black women. And you're just you're the best of the evils. And that when she's saying these things, that is what I hear. So you can't be mad at me for like hearing it that way either, based on my experiences.
Shout out to Marie. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for having me. Appreciate y'all. Just real quick, because in all honesty too, I don't like how the edits are crazy. To your point, sister, I know earlier you said something about like, you know, where's the conversation coming from? It's not even like making sense as to what we're even talking about, right? So to some people it can look like a form of bullying, and I don't even like that part, as if I'm like the gatekeeper or the person that has to look through everybody's black card and, you know, decide if you're gonna be able to make it through. we're in a competition, not a competition only, but we're also trying to meet people to say, hey, is this the person that I want to date, the person that I want to deal with? So I want to see if your outlook on life, is the same with my outlook on life. Do our lifestyles match? Are we equally yoked? Things like that. I'm cognizant and I'm aware that I am too black for the average black, not just Kira, just the average black. When I greet people, I do say hotel. Some people make jokes or make laughs. I consider myself a Pan-Africanist. I have a whole nonprofit organization called Black. So everything that I do, I govern myself in a real, like very, very proactive, a small percentage of Black people, very lifestyle, right? And so, my question, the conversation started at the hoedown. And then that's also a part of the edits where a lot of people haven't even seen me and Kira talk. Me and Kira didn't even actually have our full first conversation until the brunch mixer that we had, not the mansion mixer. We didn't even talk. I think we might have said like, "Hey, hi, my name is Marie. I'm from Dallas, born and raised," and that was legit it at the actual mixer, right when we first met everybody. We didn't actually have our full conversation until the brunch mixer. And that was brief because you're still mixing and mingling with everybody. And they only showed y'all like 4 or 5 minutes of it. When that was a whole another 14 hours something filming. Our next conversation that they didn't show, they showed me say, hey, would you like to get up and go, talk at the stair date where we had the group date. It was the 3 guys, the 3 girls. They didn't show that conversation. But the conversation where I was like, I don't think a connection would work between me and Kira was at the hoedown. We were standing over by and we were feeding the cows. Me and her, we were just talking and, admiring the nice ranch owned by Black people, So the conversation, we're on a Black network. We're around successful majority Black people on this cast, doing well for themselves. So as the cameras get away, they pan away from us. Kira tells me, she was like, hey, I just, don't feel comfortable around large groups of Black people, And I was like, what? Huh? What do you mean? Explain, what do you mean? Well, she kind of went down a line of different things that maybe she's dealt with or how, maybe large groups of Black women, because I've heard these things from other Blacks before. So this isn't foreign, so it was just a way. And I was like, well, if you don't feel good or feel comfortable around large groups of Black people, just a regular Black person. We're not talking about your Marcus Garveys, your Denmark Vesey's, and Nat Turner Blacks. We're just talking about just Ebony, Brittany. You know what I'm saying? And she was like, yeah, due to, maybe people misjudging me, things like that. So we get back to the lounge. We have a conversation. I was like, Tommy, I think, I might be too Black for her. They didn't show that part. And he was like, well, what do you mean you too Black? We all Black. I was like, yeah, we're not talking about being able to quote a few Tupac lyrics and, wear a couple of, Black Lives Matter t-shirts or whatever the cool, trendy, different world t-shirts I had. We're not just talking about just your regular, we're talking about Kwanzaa events. We're talking about, that type of group. And we all know that that's a small sector, again, of Black people. So again, this is not to judge Kira or people like Kira, and it has nothing to do with speaking proper. I also don't like that as well, because, I mean, hell, I probably would say every last one of the women from Jessica is, I seen all the little different things said about her and her professionalism. She speaks very proper. That was never said about her. And Jessica has her own separate story. That's also another narrative that I don't like, as far as somehow Janelle or Jessica or other people somehow got into this group and started to coerce. No, this is an individual conversation between me and her that the other women didn't even know about. In all honesty, they didn't even know about. Did not know a single thing about it. When she told me that, I told Tom, I said, man, I think I just might be too Black for her. I'm not saying she's a bad person. Not saying she's ugly. Not saying she's short, fat, nothing else. She's just, I think for our connection, this is probably going to be an issue. We start talking about having children, where we're going to take our kids to, what we're going to name our children. Those are probably going to be some conflicts in a relationship, I would think, right? And those are the things we have to think about if we're talking about building and creating life with another individual. And then to go on, I had the bubble date with her. Now, in the bubble date, that's really where it was like, yo, I couldn't believe that this stuff. And what I don't like is that a lot of these things, and the reason I wanted to join is because I knew a lot of y'all had went through this experience about things that are shown, things that were done that were not shown. You know what I'm saying? So y'all know what the process feels like as far as what really occurred and what happened, and to what the audience gets a chance to see. So we were at the bubble date, and I was explaining. I was like, hey, one of the things that was said in the lounge was, about how you view Black culture, or your, because I wasn't the only person that had said different, like, things about Kira and dealing with Black culture. I'm just only explaining this was my experience, all right. But there were other things that were said from other individuals as well. So, she was like, I don't know where that Black excellence things is coming from. I'm down with Black culture. My father's Black, my brother's Black. I play spades and dominoes. She literally said I play spades and dominoes. So I'm looking over, I literally look over at the camera and was like, yo, I pray y'all don't play that. Like, to throw out, you might as well say I eat watermelon and fried chicken.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? It's not about being sojourner of truth. That's not what the argument is. A lot of this is just talking about simply being self-aware. I'm on a Black network. I'm amongst other Black individuals. Just as a Black individual myself, I don't want to make my people look bad on camera. I just don't want to do it. I had the thing from the day one. I was like, yo, I'm not getting on this camera and calling no Black woman no B word. I'm not calling out her name. I told production that from day one. Everybody on that cast will tell you that. That was a no-go for me. I'm not doing it. I don't care what the situation may be. I'm not disrespecting no Black woman. Where I know the 90% of the population that watching the show is Black women. And I do have I got Black mama. I got a Black sister too, surprisingly. My sister Black. So I just wasn't gonna do it. I just wasn't gonna do it. So that's my 2 cents, and I'm landing my plane. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
Really be what you got.
Thank you. I appreciate it, because again, this whole conversation started because I didn't understand where all of this came from. So that puts it in perspective. And again, everybody, and I say this all the time, everybody has a right to say, listen, you are not my match. That's what the purpose of this is. Let's get to know each other. We can eliminate each other. You have every right to eliminate somebody based on whatever. You could say, I don't like the way she walked. That ain't going to work for me. That's your prerogative. So I just didn't understand in perspective to why they turned this into the way it was edited into such a big thing. So I appreciate you coming up, and I appreciate you clearing that up. And that definitely puts it in. I understand now where the conversation came from. Again, I'm not defending her answer one way or the other, or her answers one way or the other. I just didn't understand where it came from. That was it.
Yeah.
So I apologize
for
messing your name up on my reviews, because I don't know if I've said your name right.
It's my whole life, baby. It's been my whole life. Like my mama. That's my whole life, man.
So Marie, while we have you, I got some questions for you.
All right.
When y'all were doing the improv, right? Were you catching the shade, or were you just like caught it, rolling with it? Because I ain't about to do this right now.
In all honesty, because it's an improv, we were like, the whole point is to be funny. And if I gotta say, out of all the dates, that improv date was the best date. I'm talking about hands down. Like, I really wish I could get a hold of the raw footage of that improv date to show y'all like how really good. The best parts weren't even shown, like real talk. But I just looked at it like, we all being funny. The whole idea was, to be funny, come up with ideas, come up with a story, and just, have a good time. I didn't really, I don't really take stuff like personal like that, because I score a lot. I rank or I joan or whatever people call it. So, I have fun. I don't really get bothered easy. So I didn't look at it as no shade.
Well, I had like a funny question, I guess maybe to me, but I don't want to offend you.
Now you good? Go ahead, man.
Okay,
What's up?
Did you throw the jumpsuit away?
Oh man.
As
y'all all know,
let me say something, Pinocchio.
Go ahead.
Let me say something. You look like a little baby doll. You look.
Yeah. Trust me, I've been seeing this. People been sending me the screenshots about that too. I'm saving names, so I want everybody to know Y'all letting the jokes fly now. The moment's coming though. You better sweep around that door because I love the petty world. So I'm just letting people know ahead of time. Just get ready for that report button. But so like y'all know though, in all seriousness, it was, man, I ain't gonna even lie to you. It was at one point I probably had 40 outfits in my car. Like no lie. I was going from car to car. I was moving clothes. I was a moving closet. And our stylist or whatever you call them, I had like 2 or 3 different outfits, but because we had so many restrictions with brands and stripes and dots and all this type of stuff, like even the white shirt, I was just planning honestly to have on just a plain white tee and my chain. That was the only point. And he was like, "No, well, you can't have the white shirt on." And I was like, "Well, I don't have nothing else to match my Jordans." So happened those were the only shoes I had. So I was like, "I don't have nothing else to match my Jordans." And he was like, "Well, you got to put this on." And I straight took it out of the bag. Straight out of the bag. I had to put it on. I said, "Bro, this is too tight." I said it. I told him, but I was like, "Hey, I don't have nothing else to wear with it." So I went with it.
Mario, you think the only problem was that it was too tight?
I
didn't even notice that it was tight. I didn't even notice that it was tight. I just noticed that it was like a scene from Wizard of Oz. Like,
look at. Okay, all right. No.
The lollipop skill.
Listen,
The
Mario,
views of Stacey B do not reflect the views of the panel.
No, it doesn't. Listen. I'm not sure if I followed you on Instagram or not yet. But if I already did, don't go block me now.
Nah, man, I ain't
I just be playing too much. I thought it was really cute. You're like the adult spokesperson for Oshkosh B'gosh. Like all of the jokes, like I think you should just run with it. No, I've seen it.
I'm gonna go look on your page. You better make sure it's right, baby. I'm telling you. You better make sure it's right.
Stacey, what have you been drinking tonight?
Nothing. I've been watching it. I've been watching them say this. So I just wanted to know, like, you're not offended, right? Like, I'm really just playing. I wanted to make a joke of it because people were like going ham on you.
I've been saying it. I'm telling you, I see it all. I see it all. I see it all.
They think Black women can't soften stuff up, but I'm just softening it up.
Right,
I'm softening the blows, add a little jokey joke to it.
Yeah.
Right, Stacey just said. All right, no more.
They said I gotta mute myself, Marie. My bad, fam.
They
said lock me up.
So Marie, we're getting ready to talk about the elimination. Would you like to stick around for that?
No, I actually just got up out the gym, so I know I'm a fat boy. I see them jokes too. They coming in. Nah, they coming in. But no, I just so happened to see the live had come across my stream when I was just strolling on YouTube, and I was like, man, I heard the sister say, like, where's all this coming from? And a lot of people been saying they're confused about just the edits because some of the conversations just aren't simply making sense. As well,
Tyrone.
By far.
Okay, so listen, one thing I said was like, I felt like she places Black women at the bottom of like a hierarchy. Is that what you got from it, or am I totally off base?
To be honest, I don't know if I even had that much of a conversation with Kira to even make that type of assessment. I mean, by the comment to say, I think I'm the whitest thing here. I don't, like Janelle said, I don't think that is a good claim to fame. Me personally, as a Black man that loves Black women, I wouldn't dilute myself to no white woman. That's just me. If I was a Black woman, I wouldn't dilute myself to no white woman.
I'm going to go because I think Tyrone has a question. Yeah. I'm going to go because I think Tyrone has a question, but I'm going to just say this. Don't be calling yourself a big boy now because the women like people that can pick us up and throw us and catch us and stuff. Don't be doing that to yourself.
Listen, buddy.
It's not real with yourself.
I've had a lot of struggles in life. That ain't one of them. Getting a woman was never one of them. 600 pounds or 200 pounds. The story the same. The story gonna be the same.
Tyrone, what you got?
Yeah, sure thing. Marie, thank you so much for the clarity, man.
Yes, sir.
And welcome to the family.
Yes, sir.
You know, we're happy to have you. I had a couple follow-up questions. I wasn't trying to take up too much of your time, but you talked about, how important the movement is for you, and you love Black women. So I did have a couple follow-up questions. Would you date a Black woman that has dated outside of her race?
That's a question and a conversation I've had in real time. Possibly. Because I do believe in forgiveness, for us all, redemption for us all. Again, I believe we get to, level of consciousness or self-awareness at different stages, right? Where some people might be born into it and they've had this appreciation, for their culture and for their people since day one. Some people's time, become later, right? So yes, possibly. I would say yes. But I think that it's still a conversation we need to be had to see kind of where do we align with one another.
Good. I'm happy you said that, because my follow-up question was going to be, have you asked any of your castmates that question?
I want to say I did maybe to about, oh, you talking about the men or the women?
The women.
Oh, the women. Okay, yeah. I want to say I asked about 4 of that.
Okay. So my third question would be, if you were in a room full of Black women, do you feel like you would be able to point out which one of the Black women have dated a white man in the past?
I think I could.
What makes you feel that way?
I always say that there's a certain level of rhythm that we have, because I don't like it in the sense of, well, there has to be, locks and dashikis, and because we're not really a monolithic people and we come from all areas of the globe, literally. But there is a certain rhythm that I feel that as a culture, whether if I'm from Dallas or you're from DC or Harlem or Compton or Jamaica, that we carry when we're in the room. I have this thing about bundleism. You can tell almost a woman by the inches and the type of hairstyle that she wears, how often that she might wear it, how she presents herself. Black women have a very strong self-awareness of like just their look, right? Having undergarments on, especially a lot of women that might have been raised by their grandmothers. There is a certain, when you're really like ingrained in your culture, you can tell that this is not just a once, I'm not just doing this because I'm going to an HBCU right now. This has been my life of how I live. And I can feel that off of another individual most of the time. You can also tell by the way that some people talk, certain words that they say, certain areas that they may come from. So I think it's just a certain rhythm that I feel. I can't point to one specific thing and say, oh, just because she has locks, that means, she ain't never dating a white dude, because that's just not true, or that she has natural hair. It'd be the same in reverse. Just because she has bundles doesn't mean that, she has dated outside of her culture. She might have never touched outside of her culture. I just think it's a certain rhythm, though, that you can honestly feel by holding a conversation, probably 5 minutes, or like I said, by just a simple look. You can just tell how they carry themselves, if they have or not, or if it's even a possibility of a thought. Like this has probably been somebody that has been thinking about possibly dating outside of their race.
That's all I got. Again, thanks, man. Thanks for the clarity.
Yes,
thanks for adding your perspective. I know, me personally, I'd love to have you on again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Chat anytime.
Yes, sir. Most definitely.
Thank you so much, Mari, for joining us tonight. I appreciate you.
Thank y'all for having me, family.
All right. Have a good
peace.
night. Okay. All right, guys. So, because we need to get ready to wrap it up. I'm exhausted. I got to go to work in the morning. So Kira and Janelle actually get into it, and it was too much to go back and forth at the women's lounge when they're discussing their connections, who they're connected with and who they're not connected with. So I'm just going to go ahead and play the clip. It's literally only like a minute long. And then, yeah, that's what we're doing. Ow, dog. That hurts. Oh, sorry. I thought it was on mute. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Hold on, hold on.
Stop playing with me. It wasn't being disrespectful, but if you received it that way, I do apologize.
Okay.
But you also have to realize you have been kind of just snarky this whole time.
I have not been snarky with you.
Okay.
You've been incorrect several times.
Okay.
And you were also incorrect when you perpetuate Quentin dating white women. And then you sat here, she was like the most white woman here. Now, I don't know what claim to fame that's supposed to be, but it's not cute.
Okay.
You've made comments like that around levels of blackness. Like, I like black, but this is too black for me.
But the thing is, I think that you and Janelle like to be like mean girls.
Kira, let me be clear about it.
I'm speaking. You keep talking. When you speak, I'm just saying I can feel y'all's negative energy because y'all definitely single me out on things. Jessica and Janelle are out to make me look like I'm ignorant, trying to make people be intimidated by them and get onto their bandwagon. And if you don't, they will let you know that they don't like that.
Let me be clear. I don't have to speak to you. I will not be speaking to you because I do not like you. Because you jump in and out of character.
Let's do this. We don't all have to be friends.
All right. End scene.
I mean, we did catch her being snarky in 4K, right? Talking about the bag, talking about the outfit, right? Not my words, her words. And then if we take it back, it seemed like we can go back to that comment about Jessica when she said people make time for what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Like it applied here, but then she also said it to Chris. But like if you were to look at Kira's point of view, before Kira spoke up, both Lee and I believe it was someone else said that and Aries said they didn't have a connection with Marie. But when it came time for Kira to say she didn't have a connection with Marie, now they just want to say, well, people just make time for what they want, right? And then for what we saw, that just kind of kickstarted everything instead of just letting her say her piece like you let everyone else say their piece. So again, production is like really, really like getting to us with the audio and why Janelle was even disrespected or felt like Kira was playing with her. Like I feel like we missed so much of that too. So it's just disappointing that we're not getting it all.
Anybody got anything on the Janelle and Kira conversation?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, J-Dub. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll keep it short and sweet. Janelle is the true black activist. I totally agree with her. Just saying that in a room full of black people, I felt insulted. That's just me. However, I think she put a little bit too much about like not liking her and not speaking to her. I thought that was a bit much. It was getting like way too personal. But that kind of those types of comments in front of everybody can be dismissive. It can be offensive. And granted, you can have your own opinion, but you do have to read the room, or you should. So that's all I got to say about it.
All I'm gonna say is I agree with Ty. Janelle, again, this is a conversation of you can blame editing, but if you said it, you said it. You absolutely have been shady, made snarky comments from episode 1, and I don't understand. Like, again, in that moment, whatever, I do think some things were taken out of the conversation. It did seem to escalate. But Janelle, you are a mean girl. That's my opinion. I think you are a mean girl. I think you are unnecessarily shady to the other ladies, and I'm just not understanding where it comes from. I just don't get it. So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Stacey B.
Well, y'all said everything. I don't have nothing to say.
Let me take Stacey B go. One thing I forgot to add on. Like I said, we're gonna go back to Lashia Lou's comment, like when she posed that question. Did I say that, or I didn't say that?
Oh no, I thought I didn't know who you were talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when she posed the question to Ty, well, if somebody says, "Hey, Ty, well, you look criminal," you may be okay with somebody saying that to you. Somebody said that to me, I'm offended, even though I'm not a criminal. Like, to make those assessments and those assumptions of people, I believe as most people will be offended, and I don't think you should make those type of statements unless you have facts. The same way, oh, well, you look like you date white women. You look like you date Mexicans. Not that is wrong with dating white women or Mexicans. That's your preference. That's your preference. But to put that on somebody without knowing, I think that's a bit much. I'm done.
So are you talking about me calling Janelle a mean girl, or are you just talking about something else in general?
I can't recall referencing you. I'm talking about what Kira said.
No, that's why I was asking.
I think he was asking Ty.
I wasn't asking the question. I was just speaking on Ty when Ty spoke and said that, hey, Ty said out of his mouth, like, hey, it's okay that she asked or made the statement. She didn't ask that you look like you date white women. Ty said it. And then Lashia Lou commented and said, hey, Ty, would you be okay if somebody said, hey, Ty, you look criminal? And I thought that was a great statement. Because again, if I heard that, I would be offended. So, but everybody's different.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about it again. If there was a cop coming up to me saying I look like a criminal, I would be offended. That I would not want to be judged. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want anyone to prejudge me as if I am a criminal. However, I would have to try my best to take their experiences into consideration, right? If they have seen a lot of criminals that look like me, I can't take that from them. You know what I mean? They know a lot of criminals. I think, and I have done this, I have searched my own name in the inmate system, and there are a lot of Tyrones in there. Am I saying it's right? No. Do I want to be judged like that? No. Would I want everyone to believe that I'm this upstanding professional? Yes, I would want that. But again, because of my background, because of my experiences, I've learned to understand that some people are just ignorant. Some people don't know. Some people may have never seen any Black professionals aside from being on TV. And it is not an easy thing to do. But whenever I'm in that position, I try to be as patient as possible, and I try to do the best I can to normalize Black professionalism, to normalize Black excellence. So if they see someone financially stable, if they see someone Black being successful, it's not even a thing that I feel we have to talk about. Like the first Black this, first Black that. I want it to be so normal that it just doesn't even come up in conversation. Like I'm a successful person that is Black, right? Like I can't hide from my Blackness. And I know people may take this the wrong way, but sometimes like it gets exhausting having to remember that you're Black, you know? And sometimes you just want to be a human. You just want to be a person. You just want to go to your office and do your work without someone having to question you. So, I get it. That it's just not an easy stance to take for everyone. But I feel like if I do have the patience to take that stance, maybe it'll help someone else.
Does anybody else have anything to say about Janelle and Kira's conversation in the ladies' lounge? If not, we can move on to the elimination. All right, so we have Marie meets with Lee, Marvin meets with Kay, and Kira meets with Chris number 2. And the Tommy actually tells the lady that 2 of the men are going home, and Marvin is actually eliminated, and Chris number 2 is actually eliminated, and Marie is safe this episode. Any comments?
Why you had to get that picture, Chris?
Look, I tell y'all, I don't be when it's a still shot, I click. I don't, it is when. Sorry.
I'm okay with the people who went home. I think it was time for them to go home. I don't feel like Chris had any connections, and we know Marvin didn't really have any real connections, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, me too. Can we talk about? No, let's not talk about it.
Talk about it. It's something there, right? That's what you was about to say?
What's there?
With Marvin and Kat?
What you brought up.
Oh, the only thing I was about to talk about is what wasn't there, and was them inches. No, I'm just I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Maybe because you ain't lying on that one.
It's getting late. And Chris is just in his feelings.
Yeah, he had an answer for everything she said, didn't he? He had an answer for everything she said. Like, what else they say? What else they say? He had an answer for everything.
A comment and everything, honey. He was like, I'm leaving with a bang. That's what I'm doing. But anyway, next week, you see these clips here. This is the exes will be meeting the ladies. So I think that this episode is going to be very interesting. What you say?
I just hate that. I hate that episode. I think that is the dumbest thing. I don't understand the purpose of meeting somebody's ex.
Like you an ex for a reason. Like I'm not trying to.
You are an ex for a reason. Exactly.
Right. Like what can my ex tell you that what? That doesn't even make sense. I think that is the stupidest thing ever. Exactly. I completely agree. But
right, because the ex is probably, if you depend on who broke up with who or who did what, that'll dictate like their energy.
Yeah. I don't know. Marriott says this is when the show gets good. I completely agree because this is when the foolery starts.
Y'all think two women are gonna go on this episode?
What'd you say?
Y'all think they're gonna also do 2 women on this one or just one?
Because you know how they go. Hold on, what you mean?
Yeah, I don't think anyone goes home.
Left, do you think 2 women are gonna go?
Oh, I see what you mean. I don't know. You never know. They might bring somebody on the show. Who knows? They just out of control this season.
I think it may send 2 women home so they don't have to pay for these extra dates.
That part. That would
they
be smart.
need to send them home because there's no connections.
Yeah,
we did skip Lee and Marvin, but that was dry and dusty too, Kanisha. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And Lee didn't get the call back.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Ty, go ahead and start for us. Let us know where they can find you on your socials. If you're working on any projects you would like to share.
Yeah, for sure. Tomorrow, 7 p.m., we're going to do the mental health panel. Hopefully, J-Dub will be on, but we do have some other guests, special guests that will be on. We're going to try to do every Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday. The last few weeks have been amazing. J-Dub has been amazing on the panel. I would like to get some more women on the panel. And other than that, I've been trying to focus on creating content about my life and my adventures.
J-Dub?
Oh, that was pretty amazing, Ty. Yes, I really enjoyed being on the panel because you put us in spaces as men, where we normally don't go, and people need to hear that and see that, and it aligns right up where I am. I'm open to my emotions. I can speak freely on how I feel with no problem, and like I said, thank you for opening up that space and getting people to understand without putting, let's say, stereotypes or what should be for men. But unfortunately, what'd you say? Oh, you talking about? But unfortunately, I won't be. I will be working up until that time, so I won't be able to make it. But please continue to invite me back because I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely want to be there, but my schedule does not permit. And as far as me, I'm still doing my YouTube channel, doing my reviews and everything. I've been, haven't been as consistent as I need to be, but I'll get back there. And like I said, I thank for all the support, people still hanging in there with me, and love what J Dub does, even if it's coming from a hater's perspective or whatever we got going on. You know, it's just like it's just like so I can't even, I'm with it. I can't give it's getting late. I can't even talk. Kira, whatever her name is, because I can't say Marie. Did I say it? Marie.
Yeah, you said it.
Yeah, just the fact that you know, people who love J Dub, they love J Dub, and I appreciate y'all. That's what I'm gonna tell you, because I feel the love and support. All right, I'm gone.
Stacey B.
Well, I just want to say this. I think that, and I'm gonna be consistent. Anytime anybody looks at you with an unjust bias towards you, anytime somebody prejudges you or places whatever kind of generational experiences on you that you don't deserve, I don't like it. And I can be consistent. I didn't like that Kira did it. I didn't like when Ty asked the question, when Ty totally baited him, strung him along, hook, line, and sinker. And he basically said the same thing. Like, I can look at someone and determine who they've been with or what kind. Like, one side he was like, oh, it's a good thing based on conversation, but he was like, I can tell by the way. No, that is unfair. Like, that's just unfair to do that. And I don't like when people look at me and judge me a certain way because of their experiences. Because I say that not emotionally, but passionately because of my experiences. So I know how it feels, and I know how, you know, it feels to be treated in a way that you don't deserve because of somebody else's issues with somebody that may have looked like you, or somebody who you remind them of, or you're not light enough, or you're not dark enough, or you don't speak in the way that they're most comfortable. So I'm gonna offer y'all Stacy_B with 3 E's, because y'all know my multitasking skills ain't right there. My adult ADD ain't there. So I'm gonna just say, for the record, and for Sabrina's panel, I'm gonna be consistent. And I didn't like it when it came from her. I didn't like it when it came from him.
Really, B. Thank you, Stacey.
So I saw a couple of comments in the chat. If anybody feels like I came off like, I don't know, touchy, or I don't know, some of the comments, I really wasn't. I just like clarification, and I do speak in that tone. So it's not anything personal, and I hope it's J Dub didn't feel that way. I know he doesn't, because he don't take stuff like that. So I just want to say, for the people in the chat, I wasn't coming at anybody. I wasn't being rude or whatever. I was just trying to get clarity on stuff. Moving on. But you know, you can catch me on Really BTV on YouTube, reviewing Ready to Love, Bell Collective, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of New York. And I think that might be it, right? I Love and Marriage Detroit, but child, that thing holding on by a wing and a prayer. But anyway, so that's what's going on over there.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Shout out to my panelists. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here with me tonight for 3 hours and 28 minutes. Shout out to you guys in the chat. Shout out to my soulmates. Shout out to Another Round. Thank you for putting all of our links in the chat. Shout out to Marie for joining us tonight. Yeah, definitely. This was probably one of the most insightful panels I think that we've had in a long time. They all are great, but tonight was a little bit different. I liked it. But anyway, thank you for your opinions, and everything else, your time here tonight with me. And other than that, I will see you guys here. I'm thinking on Friday for the live watch party. If not, I'll see you soon. Anyway, love you guys. Bye.